Welcome to Counterculture-Wise, a Stormcat production, with your hosts Melanie Hope and James Monis. The views expressed on this podcast are those of the hosts, our guests, and the dog, and do not necessarily reflect the views of any of our platforms, our advertisers, or any other dog.
As you listen today, please remember, we are so much more than a podcast. All of our stories we discuss are linked in our show notes on counterculturewise.com. Visit there for commentary, guest photos and links, animations, and fun merchandise.
If you have a story idea or would like to be a guest on our show, contact us via our website. You can also follow us on Twitter, Gab, Instagram, Facebook, and all over social media where we'll post memes, cat pics, and commentary that gets us booted off on a regular basis.
If you're watching our live show, hit like and join the chat. If you're listening dead, well, you can still hit like, share, subscribe, and comment, but please stop voting Democrat. But let's proceed as if everything went smoothly.
Okay.
Because we have a lot to talk about.
We do indeed.
And since we just recently, I don't want to use the term celebrated, but recognized the 80th anniversary of D-Day, not going to bother even mentioning the disgraced cabbage in chief that kind of ruined that whole thing. Absolutely repugnant.
Mr. Poopy Pants.
Well,
we don't, like I said, we don't
know.
about it.
We don't know, but I've seen the toddler squat before. But if you watch the whole thing in context, he is there for the whole pinning of the medals, and then the chopped up video. Folks, we're better than that. We don't have to lie. We don't have to repar our videos and change things around. He's bad enough on his own. So don't chop up videos and lie about it. Because all they're going to do is point and say, "Oh, look, you're lying and this and that, and everything you say is a lie."
They've got enough going against them. We don't need to add fake fuel to the
all
fire.
you have to do is just point to them. That's all you have to do. You don't have to fix things, lie about things. He's busy lying about everything, which we'll kind of talk about a little bit.
I'm really glad we didn't talk about this.
Yeah. Anyway. Let's not talk about the disgrace that is the corpse in chief. Let's instead let our veteran tell us a little bit about what D-Day was.
All right. 80 years after it happened, D-Day, the largest land, sea, and air invasion ever attempted, still resonates today. With the bold invasion of Nazi-held Europe on June 6, 1944, the Allied forces began turning the tide in World War II. On the 80th anniversary of that date, it is good to remember that it is one of the most famous single days in all of human history, writes historian Garrett Graff in his new book out this week, When the Sea Came Alive, An Oral History of D-Day. I'd like to read that.
How can a book be an oral history?
When they're being interviewed and they give you their story, you write it down, it's therefore an oral history.
Okay.
Just work with me on that. Though there have been other days over the course of the last century that have rerouted our collective historical trajectory, one could argue that none has had more of an impact than the day 160,000 troops stormed the beaches of Normandy.
I didn't realize there were that many.
Yeah, this was British, American,
so it
and
really
Canadian.
was a storm.
Yeah, British, Canadian, and American officers and troops. In addition to feelings of gratitude, this 80th anniversary also evokes feelings of melancholy, as we also mark the final passing of the greatest generation, and the event slips fully from memory into history. Of the million or so Allied participants in Operation Overlord, there are only a few thousand left alive today, he said. That means the memories and first-person experiences we have of D-Day now are effectively all the memories we will ever have. By the time they get to the 90th anniversary, they'll all be gone.
They'll all be gone.
Yeah. Here's everything you need to know about D-Day and why it's still so important today. It would be more than 4 years into World War II, Germany's invasion of Poland in September 1939 set off the global conflict. When the major Allied forces, including U.S., Great Britain, France and Russia sought an invasion to weaken an already spread thin German army, according to History.com. The operation, involving the largest sea and air armada ever assembled, Graf notes in his book, had been in the works for years. I'm just going to step aside for a moment and say it's amazing. In this day and age, they wouldn't be able to plan something like this.
Nope.
It'd be on TikTok before
Yeah.
anybody said anything. Crucial preparation began in December 1943 after President Franklin D. Roosevelt named General Dwight D. Eisenhower the Supreme Commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force, writes or notes the National World War II Museum. It's simple. Why is D-Day still important today? It's simple. President Clinton said during observing the 50th anniversary in France, "They gave us our world," he said. "Those troops who executed the invasion mean everything to us," said Sergeant Nathan Rogers, a 23-year-old Army Ranger at the time attending the ceremony. "We wouldn't have existed if not for them. They definitely set the standard."
I want to go back. President Clinton observed the 50th anniversary.
Right.
And this is the 80th anniversary?
Right.
I've been alive that long?
Yeah. Oh, honey, it's not about you.
I remember not voting for Clinton. I was old enough to not vote for Clinton.
Don't do that.
I hate being that old.
In collecting more than 5,000 personal stories of participants in D-Day and writing the new book, Graf said he learned crucial insights from the participants. "Sure, we recognize now that D-Day was a Herculean heroic triumph, but listen to the voices of the Allied troops crossing the Channel on an armada of ships on the night of June 5th, and there's little sense that what they're doing is historic or heroic," he said. "They have no idea what lies ahead. They're concerned about whether they'll live to see the end of the day."
Whoever took these photos is also a hero. These are amazing.
Yeah, that is some amazing photojournalism there. What does D-Day stand for? The answer is simpler than you might think. The D actually stands for day. Day? I heard it was Disembarkation Day, but anyway, because it is a coded designation used for the day of any important invasion or military operations. So actions 4 days ahead of the actual operation, for instance, would be D4 according to the U.S. Army. What was Operation Overlord? Operation Overlord, the code name for the D-Day invasion, involved transporting of more than 150,000 infantry troops across the English Channel into German-occupied France. More than 1.5 million U.S. Army personnel had arrived in the UK by the end of May 1944 to participate or support the operation, according to the National World War II Museum. Overall, more than 2 million soldiers from the U.S. and 250,000 from Canada had arrived in June in preparation for and to support the invasion, according to History.com. Also delivered 450,000 tons of ammunition as part of 7 million tons of supplies. Whew.
Yeah.
Operation Overlord also contained a fake operation called Operation Fortitude to convince Hitler the Allies would attempt to land in Norway and Pas-de-Calais in France, according to the Imperial War Museum. The plot, concocted over months, included a fake army led by General George Patton and readying in England for the Channel crossing, notes History.com. Another fictitious force, the British Fourth Army, stationed in Scotland to threaten Norway where Hitler's U-boats were based.
This is straight out of Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah, this is, seriously. Existed only on the airwaves, wrote historian Stephen Ambrose in D-Day, June 6, 44, the climactic battle of World War II. British officers and German spies sent realistic radio messages to convince the Germans of the operation's authenticity, and wooden fake bombers were deployed.
I do remember the fake wooden bombs.
Wooden ships on the water. These ruses were successful enough that Hitler considered the Normandy invasion, as it was initiated, was actually a ploy to divert attention from Calais.
I'll be darned.
How about that? They fooled him big time. They had placed the bulk of their panzer divisions north and east of the Seine River, where they were unavailable for counterattack in Normandy, wrote Ambrose, who also authored Band of Brothers.
See, nowadays we just drone them.
There's a recording available of Eisenhower's D-Day orders saying, "The eyes of the world are upon you." Did D-Day go according to plan? Well, nothing ever completely does,
No.
but after years of planning for Operation Overlord, soldiers still faced incredible challenges upon landing on the beaches of Normandy, as the intricate operation didn't go according to plan. Even with tactical and strategic advantages and more than a year of planning, D-Day's success was a close call, achieved only at an astounding cost of more than 10,000 Allied troops killed, wounded, or missing,
Wow.
said now retired General Jeff Harrigan, who penned a D-Day anniversary observance editorial on usatoday.com in 2021. At the time, Harrigan was the commander of the U.S. Air Forces Europe, U.S. Air Forces Africa, and Allied Air Command in Ramstein Air Base in Germany. It's a long article. Should I read the whole thing? It's
Why
pretty
not?
fascinating.
It is fascinating. And
Okay. Then we will continue.
Well, we have listeners that are just listening, so I mean,
That's
this
true.
oral history actually is.
Complications began. By the way, this is from an article from USA Today. I found this one. I wanted to use it because it spells out everything that was important and leaves out everything that isn't.
Yeah. Also, all links are available on counterculturewise.com.
And while you're there, buy some stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Complications began when weather caused cancellation of the original date Eisenhower had chosen, which was June 5th, 1944. Anti-aircraft fire caused pilots to fly planes faster than expected, and that meant paratroopers dropped in the morning behind enemy lines to cut off supply routes, missed their landing targets.
Oh, my.
Whoa. During the Allied forces landing, the U.S. landing force for Utah Beach was blown off course. The U.S. landing at Omaha Beach, where the fiercest fighting was seen, was affected by winds and tide, too. As troops emerged from landing boats on the long, flat Omaha Beach, they were pinned down by enemy machine gun fire from the cliffs above. If you stayed there, you were going to die, Lieutenant Colonel Bill Friedman told the National World War II Museum. We just had to try to get to the bottom of the cliffs on which the Germans had mounted their defenses. U.S. and British destroyers U.S. and British destroyers arrived to attack enemy positions and support the troops, including those attempting to commandeer the critical Point du Hoc, a German-held cliff top between Omaha and Utah beaches, according to the Naval History and Heritage Command site. By the end of the day, about 156,000 Allied troops had successfully landed and taken Normandy's beaches. How did D-Day succeed? Operation Overlord involved more than 11,000 planes and more than 5,000 ships and landing craft, along with 50,000 vehicles. This is just enormous. I can't even picture this.
Hit him with everything at once.
The plan had called for the air and naval bombardments, followed by tanks and dozers, to blast a path through the exit so the infantry could march up the ravines, and engage the enemy, but the plan had failed, utterly and completely failed, Ambrose wrote. As is almost always the case in war, it was up to the infantry. It became the infantry's job to open the exits so that the vehicles could drive up the draws and engage the enemy. Junior officers and non-commissioned officers saw at once that the intricate plan bore no relationship whatsoever to the tactical problem they faced, he wrote. Their training had prepared them for this challenge. They sized up the situation, saw what had to be done, and did it, Ambrose wrote. Sergeant John Ellery of the 16th Infantry Regiment of the 1st Infantry Brigade, also known as the Big Red One, was in the first wave to hit Omaha Beach. He told survivors around him, "We had to get off the beach and I'd lead the way," and climbed up the bluff to use grenades to take out a machine gun position, Ambrose wrote in D-Day.
Wow.
We sometimes forget, I think, that you can manufacture weapons and you can purchase ammunition, Ellery is quoted by Ambrose, but you can't buy valor and you can't pull heroes off an assembly line.
That's for sure.
How many soldiers died on D-Day? 4,415 Allied soldiers died on D-Day, with U.S. servicemen accounting for 2,502 of the death, and 1,913 Allied soldiers from 7 other nations, according to the National D-Day Memorial Foundation. Between 4,000 and 9,000 German soldiers were killed, wounded, or missing in action. About 200,000 German prisoners of war were captured. An estimated 12,200 French civilians died or went missing during the battle, according to Encyclopedia Britannica. The invasion proved successful. Paris was liberated from the Germans on August 25, 1944, and on May 7, 1945, less than a year after the D-Day invasion, Germany surrendered. Here are some ways to celebrate the 80th anniversary of D-Day. Note that we're recording this a few days after So I don't know if all of this is going to be going on still, but I think it is. The National World War II Museum. The museum in New Orleans has events all day on Thursday you can watch online. The program begins with a remembrance gathering at 6:30 a.m. ET, Eastern Time, and a performance by the 29th Division Band at 9 a.m. You can register for virtual attendance on the museum's website. I'm sure they have it archived.
They have it archived, yeah.
Frog Fathers, Lessons from the Normandy Surf. This new documentary about the history of the naval combat demolition units known today as the Navy SEALs follows four veterans who visited Normandy. The doc is currently available on the Fox Nation streaming service. Starting Tuesday, June 11th, you can watch it on Magellan TV or on the World of Warships YouTube channel. World of Warships, the free historical online naval battle video game, has special missions related to the D-Day invasion playable this month on PCs and consoles. That's pretty cool.
Interesting.
So that is a nutshell of one of the most important days in the past 100 years.
The turn of the war.
Absolutely.
But all those people just...
All right. So we're not going to touch on Rainbow Month too much here, but it's an interesting note to make here, Melanie.
Yeah, so we're actually kind of boycotting the whole thing just because we've said everything we need to say about it, and it's gotten blown so completely out of control. There's no need for a month. That's ridiculous. Veterans get like a day. Teachers, we're lucky if we get a day, you know, and they get an entire month. I don't care who you sleep with. It's none of my dang business. You don't need a parade to tell me about it. Anyway, they also expect everybody to pander to them at some point. And during this month,
corporations who honestly don't even care one way or the other.
Yeah,
they're doing
and
doing it out of political pressure.
They should have positively nothing to do with sports teams, and there's only one sports team that actually has the cojones.
Major League Baseball, anyway.
Yeah, well, I think they're the only sports team, to be honest. But as far as Major League Baseball goes, the Texas Rangers are still the only ones that don't have a Pride Night, and not because they're anti-gay or anything. I mean, they're totally open to that. I'm not going to go into the story and wham, this and that, earliest moments, blah, blah, yardy, yardy. The Texas Rangers are the only Major League Baseball team to never host a Pride Night or similar event celebrating the Rainbow Mafia. The Rangers made national headlines last year for both their first ever World Series championship title and for being the only MLB team without a Pride Night. And that won't change this year. It's certainly a sense of frustration given my association, relationship, and feelings about the team, said Weiner McDonnell, because he's gay and thinks that everybody should bow down to his whims because we should care about something that is none of our dang business. The Rangers' June 2024 Community Nights schedule includes celebrations of Asian heritage, Mexican heritage, historically black colleges and universities, church groups, and dogs.
Woof.
All things that pretty much everybody can get behind and are immutable characteristics, especially dogs. Our commitment is to make everyone feel welcome and included in Rangers baseball, the executive vice president, John Blake, said. That means in our ballpark, at every game, and in all we do for both our fans and our employees. The closest thing to a Pride Night that Rangers fans can experience this year are the other teams' events during away games. We don't care. Pride Nights are an opportunity to meaningfully celebrate pedos and crazies and people with quirks and kinks. I mean, who cares? And of course, the Rainbow Mafia that are also athletes are looking to see if their favorite team truly sees them and welcomes them. Are you wearing like something on your forehead saying where you like to stick your privates? It's none of our dang business. I don't want to see you and welcome you for that. I want to see you and welcome you for your humanity. What you do in your bedroom, none of my dang business. Leave kids alone. Anyways, we got a Rainbow Mafia group that live here in Texas. They show up every game and cheer on the Rangers. We are disheartened by the Rangers' failure to show that same level of support. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. will have a Rainbow Mafia day the minute you have a bald white guys like doing it doggy style day. Because it's exactly the same thing. None of our business. It should be noted that the Rangers have participated in other events. You can't say the Rangers have done nothing for the Rainbow Mafia because that is not true, McDonald said. They were a sponsor of the North American Gay Amateur Athletic Alliance's 2022 Gay Softball World Series. Do you play differently if you're not gay? Because aren't they all supposed to be equal? What is this?
Yeah. That's why I don't like reading even.
Yeah, the team also worked with local Rainbow Mafia groups, including the Pegasus Slow Pitch Softball Association and the Resource Center in Dallas. They're so narcissistic. They always have to have their own special little thing. And then they also want to take over mainstream things. It's like, imagine the world just revolving around you because of where you like to stick your privates. It's disgusting. And it goes on. They do a bunch of other stuff. Wah, wah. And then they talk about other teams that have Rainbow Mafia nights. The economic argument doesn't fly when you have a World Series pennant. I don't think it has anything to do with economics. They just don't care. It could be an issue of religion, a decision that's rooted in their personal religious faith. Okay, so they're talking about the owners now, and whether the owners are to blame for not pandering to them. But baseball fans are eternal optimists. It's always we'll try again next year. And that's to a certain extent my view on this whole issue of Rangers and Pride Night, that we will keep pressuring them until they cave, because if there's one thing the Rainbow Mafia is good at, it's Re.
All
right, let's talk about the big orange elephant in the room. See what I did there? Orange elephant, GOP, huh?
You're fired.
Yeah, oh man, I love how they always make him look older and oranger.
Yeah, I know.
This
Well, he
image,
is in his 70s, dude.
I know, but this image is so obviously fake.
Mm.
I mean, this is an obviously AI image. It's totally fake.
Well, this is a first-hand article from somebody at New York Magazine called Ellie Honig, a former federal and state prosecutor and a contributor to Cafe. I'm not sure what Cafe is. Anyway.
I think it's a magazine.
No.
The first time I ever took a jury verdict, I almost passed out. I was a brand new prosecutor, 29 years old, and had just given my first closing argument a few days earlier. Since then, the trial team and I had been whiling away our time, interrupted only by the occasional note from the jury seeking testimony or legal instructions as they deliberated.
They were whiling away the hours. I've never heard that word outside of that song. That was my first time.
Now you have.
Now I have.
All of a sudden, we got word from the court clerk, "Come on up, we have a verdict." Let me tell you, there's little in life that causes a burst of uncut adrenaline quite like the arrival of a verdict. I managed, barely, to hold it together as we performed the arcane dramatic ritual that concludes every criminal trial. The judge brings the lawyers and the defendant back into the courtroom. The security officers take their places. The jury files in solemnly, and the judge asks, "Ladies and gentlemen, have you reached a verdict?" Yes, Your Honor. That's why we're all back out here. Duh. As I stood at the prosecution table while the jury took their places in the box, I felt dizzy and had to use my arms to brace myself. Boy, this guy's dramatic, isn't he?
Yeah, he's dramatic.
Moments before the jury read the verdict, my supervisor, a grizzled trial buzzsaw known for his blistering closing arguments, leaned over and whispered to me, "Whatever they say, no reaction. Don't move a muscle." I don't know what I would have done if not for that last second command. Maybe I would have been sensible enough not to react either way, but I'm not sure. As the jury read out its findings, starting with a not guilty on count one to my horror, but then moving along to a string of convictions, I didn't budge or breathe or blink. The lesson I learned that day and throughout my prosecutorial career, and have come to value even more ever since, is that the jury's verdict is sacrosanct. If a conviction goes our way, we prosecutors don't pump our fists and celebrate, even mildly. And when a verdict goes against us, we don't sulk. When we lose, we stand in and take it. Any emotional reaction, either way, would disrespect the judge, the jury, and most importantly, the person whose liberty was about to be
Yeah.
stripped. Fair enough. Fair enough.
There were literally people dancing in the streets.
Yeah. Prosecutors get to go to dinner and then sleep at home no matter what the jury says the defendant might not. By any reasonable measure, the jury of Manhattanites who yesterday found former President Donald Trump guilty on all 34 charges did its job and did it well. They took on a civic duty from which many others fled. During jury selection with Judge Juan Marchand allowed potential jurors... Merchant. Juan Merchant allowed potential jurors who did not want to serve essentially to walk out the door. Over half the assembled pool headed straight for the exits. The jurors sat through 6 weeks of testimony. They were by all accounts attentive throughout the trial, and they asked precise, insightful questions of the judge during deliberations. Nobody's truly in position to say if the jury got it right or wrong. They saw the evidence and we didn't. Most of us, that is, including those like me who followed every line of testimony as it happened. There's no substitute for seeing it play out live. Reasonable minds could have come out either way, and this jury found that the prosecution carried its burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. The jury's work and their verdict deserve respect.
I disagree.
But that doesn't mean that every structural infirmity around the Manhattan District Attorney's case is evaporated. Both of these things can be true at once. The jury did its job, and this case was an ill-conceived, unjustified mess.
Yep.
Sure, victory is the great deodorant, but a guilty verdict doesn't make it all pure and right. Plenty of prosecutors have won plenty of convictions in cases that shouldn't have been brought in the first place.
Yep.
But they won is no defense to a strained, convoluted reach unless the goal is to win now by any means necessary and worry about the credibility of the case and the fallout later.
They don't even worry about that because they're so completely in control.
The following are all undeniable facts.
I'm surprised they didn't all stand up and scream off with his head.
I don't know. The following are all undeniable facts. The judge donated money, a tiny amount, $35, but in plain violation of a rule prohibiting New York judges from making political donations of any kind to a pro-Biden, anti-Trump political operation, including funds that the judge earmarked for resisting the Republican Party and Donald Trump's radical right-wing legacy.
He should have been disqualified immediately.
He should have
Don't
been.
even need to take his daughter into consideration. He should have been disqualified immediately.
True. Would folks have been just fine with the judge staying on the case if he had donated a couple bucks to re-elect Donald Trump MAGA forever? Absolutely not. District Attorney Alvin Bragg ran for office in an overwhelmingly Democratic county by touting his Trump-hunting prowess. He bizarrely and falsely boasted on the campaign trail, "It is a fact that I have sued Trump over 100 times." Disclosure. Both Bragg and Trump's lead counsel, Todd Blanche, are friends and former colleagues of mine at the Southern District of New York. Most importantly, the DA's charges against Trump push the outer boundaries of the law and due process. That's not on the jury. That's on the prosecutors who chose to bring the case and the judge who let it play out as it did.
They literally had to change the law to even bring it to court.
It's true. The district attorney's press office and its flacks often proclaim that falsification of business records charges are, quote, commonplace, and indeed the office's bread and butter. That's true only if you draw a definitional line so broad as to render them meaningless. Of course, the DA charges falsification quite frequently. Virtually any fraud case involves some sort of fake documentation. But when you impose meaningful search parameters, the truth emerges. The charges against Trump are obscure and nearly entirely unprecedented. In fact, no state prosecutor in New York or Wyoming or anywhere has ever charged federal election laws as a direct or predicate state crime against anyone for anything. None. Ever. Even putting aside the specifics of election law, the Manhattan DA itself almost never brings any case in which falsification of business records is the only charge. Standing alone, falsification charges would have been mere misdemeanors under New York law, which posed two problems for the DA. First, nobody cares about a misdemeanor, true that, and it would be laughable to bring the first ever charge against a former president for a trifling offense that falls within the same technical criminal classification as shoplifting a Snapple and a bag of Cheetos from a bodega.
Which they would not prosecute for. In fact, this Bragg himself lowers felonies to let the murders and rapists go free.
Second, the statute of limitations on a misdemeanor, 2 years, likely has long expired on Trump's conduct, which dates to 2016 and 2017. So, to inflate the charges up to the lowest level felony, Class E on a scale of Class A through E, and to electroshock them back to life within the longer felony statute of limitations, the DA alleged that the falsification of business records was committed with intent to commit another crime.
But never named that crime.
Never. Here, according to prosecutors, the another crime is a New York State election law violation, which in turn incorporates 3 separate unlawful means: federal campaign crimes, tax crimes, and falsification of still more documents.
That's really vague.
Yeah, exactly. Inexcusably, the DA refused to specify what those unlawful means actually were, and the judge declined to force them to pony up.
So why was there even a case if there's no charge?
I don't know. Because, Biden. And the judge declined to force them to pony up until right before closing arguments. So much for the constitutional obligation to provide notice to the defendant of the accusations against him in advance of trial. This, folks, is what indictments are for. In these key respects, the charges against Trump aren't just unusual. They're bespoke, seemingly crafted individually for the former president and nobody else.
Exactly what they are.
The Manhattan's DA's employees reportedly have called this the zombie case because of various legal infirmities, including its bizarre charging mechanism. But it's better characterized as the Frankenstein case, cobbled together, or is that Frankenstein? Cobbled together with ill-fitting parts into an ugly, awkward, but more or less functioning contraption that might just ultimately turn on its creator. Trump will appeal, as is his right, and he's certain to contest the inventive charges constructed by the DA.
Yeah, but sadly, the appellate court that he has to appeal to are all DEI hires, which are totally plants. They're not even... They didn't get there by merit. You can just look at them and see.
Yeah. I won't go so far as to say an appeals court is likely to overturn a conviction. New York law is broad and hazy enough to potentially allow such machinations, but he's going to have a decent shot at a reversal.
He would if the law was working. If nobody is actually above the law, well, Trump is under it.
Yeah. One more paragraph. No man is above the law. It's become cliche, but it's an important point, and it's worth pausing to reflect on the importance of this core principle. But it's also meaningless pablum if we unquestionably tolerate, or worse, celebrate, deviations from ordinary process and principle to get there. The jury's word is indeed sacrosanct, as I learned long ago, but it can't fix everything that preceded it. Here, prosecutors got their man, for now at least, but they also contorted the law in an unprecedented manner in their quest to snare their prey. Now, keep in mind, this is from New York Magazine, okay? This wasn't some right-leaning... This wasn't the National Review, so kudos to Ellie or Eli or whatever their name is for getting the whole situation looked at, I think, objectively. I really do. So, good. Thank you.
Yeah. I love that whenever you ask a lefty who's, doing their little victory dance, okay, what was the crime? And they'll come up with a bunch of stuff, but none of it's real. They don't even know what he was charged with because he was never actually charged with anything. It's crazy.
All right. So
speaking of hunting,
yeah, a couple of other biggies on the conservative side have been. I don't know if Alex Jones would consider himself a conservative. I don't know, but
I don't know either. I mean,
I would imagine, but anyway.
He's right about just about everything, but...
Well, I guess, but
now,
still.
I don't know much about Bannon, but it's been interesting listening to him talk, so...
Alrighty.
Of course, let's see here. The federal judge has ordered Steve Bannon, a longtime ally of former President Donald Trump, to report to prison by July 1st for his conviction for defying a subpoena.
I defy thee.
You know what's really fun? That exact same judge defied a subpoena from the same people, and it's ridiculous. U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols, a Trump appointee, who cares, previously paused Bannon's 4-month sentence while he appealed his conviction. But on Thursday, Nichols ruled that the original reasons for the postponements no longer apply because a D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals panel ruled strongly and unanimously last month against Bannon's position. Bannon intends to continue appealing the case to the full bench of the D.C. Now, okay, see, I don't understand how that's a jailable offense. You get called for this phony show thing, and you're like, yeah, I'm really not into the
There's still, okay,
histrionics.
I understand what you're saying, and I get your point of view, and I agree with it. However, it is still a legal proceeding, and I mean,
Well, how come Hunter Biden can just walk out with his posse any dang time he wants, and how come this very judge can say, I don't feel like it, I don't think it's valid?
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
It is a 2-tier, maybe even 3-tier system. Bannon intends to continue appealing the case to the full bench of the D.C. Circuit and the Supreme Court, but unless one of those courts steps in to block Nichols' decision, Bannon is unlikely to be able to stave off prison in the meantime. Bannon was convicted in July 2022 of 2 misdemeanor counts of contempt of Congress for stonewalling a subpoena. So you can now go to prison for misdemeanors?
If you're stonewalling Congress, apparently.
No, it's only because it had to do with the January 6th hysterics. I do not believe that the original basis for my stay of Mr. Bannon's sentence exists anymore, Nichols said from the bench of the Federal District Courthouse in Washington, D.C. Bannon was flanked by his lawyers David Schoen, who once represented Trump in his impeachment proceedings after January 6th, and Evan Corcoran, who was a key witness in the criminal case against Trump in Florida, where Trump is accused of hoarding classified documents. Hoarding. Oh, these people. After he left the White House. Yeah, so he's going to court for that, but the old man who can't remember anything.
He's just a nice old man. He's just a poor befuddled soul who poops his panties,
and can't remember anything.
And he has his finger on the nuclear football. So yeah,
steals
we're all
documents
fun.
that he has no business even having access to, and keeps them for decades in a box next to his nice car. Bannon is the second former Trump White House advisor headed to prison for defying the January 6th committee. Peter Navarro, a former Trump trade advisor, is currently serving a 4-month sentence in Miami for blowing off a subpoena from the panel. Putting these people in jail is treason. This is treason. These people are evil. The whole January 6th nonsense is a bunch of garbage. And still pretending like that was somehow an insurrection. Give me a break. Like I said on D-Day, if conservatives had meant to conduct an insurrection, we wouldn't have showed up unarmed, and we would have gotten it done.
True that.
These were, people let in, and you can watch the videos, it's not like we're making this up, literally walked in through open doors and given tours in some case. And, I still have Norm Macdonald's tweet. It's nice how the violent insurrectionists obeyed the velvet ropes. I mean, these are people literally just walking around taking selfies. And yeah, sure, there were some altercations on the other side of the building. If you watch the videos in context, that did not start until they started firing into the crowd. They fired flash bombs. They fired those beanbag doohickeys. They knocked a woman off the steps, almost killed her. And they riled up the crowd, and it was all by design. And the police on the other side kept saying, this is ridiculous. They're leaving us out in the cold. What's going on here? What's going on here? Why did Pelosi deny? And now we have proof of it, because they're all trying to say, oh, that's not. No, now we have proof that Trump did indeed request National Guard. And Pelosi said no. Oh, but you know what Pelosi did do is hire a film crew to follow her around so she could, have her own little documentary. And the whole January 6th thing, they brought in a Hollywood producer to put together the film that, of course, it looks terrible, but they didn't show everything. And that's why little by little folks have had to release it. But, the restream, they can't seem to let go. And they're still calling it an insurrection. It's garbage. January 6th was nothing even remotely close to an insurrection, you big babies. No buildings were burned. No police officers died. I don't care what anybody says. You can look it up. Not a single police officer died that day. The only person who died was shot by a moron who has repeatedly left his loaded weapon in the bathroom, got away with it, wasn't even tried or anything, has never had to answer to it. And yet Ashley, what the hell's her name? Ashley
Babbitt?
Babbitt, thank you, is dead for being present because he's a scared little baby who doesn't know how to handle his gun. Nobody was in danger. Nobody was threatened. No cops died. Pelosi was safely ensconced in her bunker with her little film crew, and I've seen the film. It's disgusting. They're literally looking into the camera and smiling, and I mean the whole thing was staged. The whole thing was staged. And that crowd did not get violent until they were fired upon. It's on video, people, and they held those videos back on purpose. This was all orchestrated. And we have political prisoners still serving in jail under horrific conditions, solitary confinement, for nothing. Literally nothing. Well, what about all the people who pleaded guilty? Well, okay, if your entire life was being ripped out from under you and your only choice was to plead guilty so that you could get a lesser sentence, would you?
Yeah.
If you were being ripped away from your family and you were told you'd be financially destroyed and serve prison time for something as ridiculous as walking through an open door, yeah, you'd plead guilty to some lesser crime. This is an absolute travesty what these people have done, and we have got to take our country back. Honest to God, if they won an insurrection, they don't know what they're asking for. So I'm not going to read the rest of this because it's ridiculous. Bannon should not be in prison. Trump should not be in prison.
And this should not have happened to Alex Jones.
Yeah, let's talk about...
InfoWars owner Alex Jones will have to liquidate his ownership of the controversial website and other assets to help settle his $1.5 billion debt to the families of Sandy Hook elementary school victims.
Now, keep in mind, the guy who actually did kill the kids, I'm not pursuing him at all.
I haven't heard of anything that happened to him. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't even know. And Alex Jones did nothing to these people. Like, literally nothing. These people are standing on the bodies of their dead children just to make money and ruin a man because they don't like him.
Jones on Thursday agreed to liquidate his assets to help pay the $1.5 billion judgment in favor of Sandy Hook families.
They just want to silence him because he's right.
Jones initially filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, but asked a Texas bankruptcy court to convert it to a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, which requires him to liquidate his assets. Those assets include Free Speech Systems, which is a media company that owns InfoWars.
Wouldn't it be nice if somebody like Elon Musk just bought it and then gave it back
to him?
I
would. If I had the money, I would have already done it. He can keep his home and other belongings exempt from bankruptcy liquidation.
How nice.
The move means Jones and InfoWars will part ways. Jones founded InfoWars in the late 1990s. Legal representatives for Free Speech Systems also filed for bankruptcy protection, but the Sandy Hook families this week filed an emergency motion to order the liquidation of the media company. A hearing on that motion is scheduled next week. A Texas bankruptcy judge last year ruled Jones can't eliminate the legal judgments against him by filing for bankruptcy.
I don't understand why these people are so relentlessly pursuing him. It's not going to bring your children back,
I
and he didn't kill them.
I don't think it's necessarily all about the parents. So far, he hasn't paid any money to the Sandy Hook families. Jones told his InfoWars listeners on Friday that he has no assets and can only pay the $1.5 billion judgment against him with money earned by continuing to broadcast and promote nutritional supplements.
Yeah, so take away his livelihood and then demand money from him. Real bright, you dipshits. Pardon my French, sorry. I held off as long as I could.
Yes, you could. You were admirable, actually. The supplements are worthless if I don't promote them.
Might have popped a vein.
Might have. The supplements are worthless if I don't promote them, Jones said Friday. The rest of the story is I will not sell out or be compromised to stay on the air here and be a puppet. The families of elementary school children massacred on December 14, 2012 by Adam Lanza successfully sued Jones for defamation after he called the elementary school attack a hoax and a false flag operation.
And you know what? The way they're acting kind of makes me wonder. But he actually didn't say that. It was a caller that called in, and he engaged with the caller and then started saying things like, I wonder, and check this out. And, you know, the video of the dad laughing and smiling, and then the minute he realized cameras were on him, all of a sudden his face just changed.
Sure, I remember that.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is what happened to Lanza. Lanza, 20, murdered his mother to steal her AR-15 rifle and used it to murder 20 students and 6 adults at the elementary school in Newton, Connecticut, before shooting himself.
He
That's
shot
what.
himself.
So instant
so
justice.
they couldn't get money out of him, so they had to
No.
chase after somebody else that they knew had money because, like I said, they're literally standing on the bodies of their children to profit.
Yeah.
Just like George Floyd's family.
Yeah. Jones in 2022 admitted the Sandy Hook attack really
he's
occurred.
apologized multiple times.
Yeah. Well,
Multiple times.
Why
It's
accept
like,
an
what-
apology when you can accept a check? You know, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, why be, you know, decent human beings when you can continue to use your dead child as a cash cow? It's just repugnant. It's repugnant what they're doing to him. And it has nothing to do with Sandy Hook. Nothing to do with it. And I think this is part of what's coming up. They're little by little, well, actually, not even little by little, in big swaths, they're removing anybody and anything that can support Trump. And you mark my words, there's going to be massive censorship. The only place you're going to actually be able to hear the truth until they kill Elon Musk is going to be on X. Twitter.
Right.
Because everything else is so completely censored and controlled by the government. And that has been proven.
Well,
There's
there's a competitor for X called Threads, which is run by Meta / Facebook.
Is
it's a
anybody
joke.
even on there?
Yeah, I'm on there. If you have an
I've never been
Instagram
on
account, you pretty much have a Threads account. Whether you use it or not, it's another thing.
I don't even know how to get on there.
Well, you're probably better off.
Is it threads.com?
I think so.
I'm probably going to get like a crochet site or something. A new adventure awaits. Big news. Today we're announcing that Spotify is acquiring the Threads team. Okay.
Who? Why? What?
I'm sorry. Shopify. I read that wrong.
Thank you. I'm like, what?
Shopify.
Okay.
Here's how we got here. It all started with the rise of Instagram Threads, which presented us with the opportunity to sell our domains. Around the same, well, Threads might not be a thing anymore.
Yeah.
You've got a landing page with a bunch of things, and then, all right. Well, I'll check it out, but I don't really care.
Yeah.
Well, folks, this was our test. Hopefully everything recorded all right, and we will continue to try to get this to work. If anybody accidentally tuned in, thanks. And we will be posting the entire stream tomorrow as normal.
Sunday, that is. Sunday night.
Sunday.
Around 8 o'clock, somewhere around there.
Well, I'm going to try to get it on 8 o'clock. If we get everything done and recorded, it'll be up.
Sounds great.
Great. So yeah, we'll be back with news of the weird and wonderful, and maybe a sketch or two, and holy crap, this is actually happening, and all kinds of fun stuff. So do tune in all the places, and we'll see you in a bit. Now I gotta figure out how to turn this off.
Hey, Melanie.
End stream. Here we go. End stream. Stream is ending. End stream. Wrap up and leave. Okay.
Why did the man fall down the well?
We're not recording. Well, I guess we are technically recording. Why did the man fall down the well?
He couldn't see that well. That's one of my very favorites ever. I love that one.
But tink.
Come on, that's a good one. Okay, here you are. It's funny right there.
Counterculture Wise is proud to present News of the Weird and Wonderful. Here are your hosts, Melanie Hope and Jim Monis.
We have so much wonderful things to share.
We do. We have a
many,
lot
So
of-
much.
That's okay.
So
We
many.
got lots.
We got lots. That we might just skip all the other news of the wicked and just go wonderful all night
I'm all
long.
happy with because we just talked about Half,
Yeah.
all these conservative icons getting shut down, shut up.
They're
Just,
hunting
it's-
Republicans, and I'm...
Yeah. Some of
Yeah.
them kind of deserve it for not having a backbone.
Okay, you know what? I'm behind you on that one. I'm behind you on that
But
one.
these guys, the ones who are actually getting smacked down, are the
and
ones
that's
with
the problem.
backbone.
The entire Republican Party is a bunch of whiny cryberries.
Yeah, that'll work.
Whiny crybaby wussies. They're just
Yeah.
wussies, and
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the Republican Party doing nothing.
Well,
And then
they're
when you
afraid
do
of being.
stand up-
They're afraid of being called what they're already being called. So who
Right.
cares?
Yeah, exactly.
know,
Just
it's
stand
time
up,
to
grow a backbone, you big pain in the butts. Do your job. I mean,
Yep.
my lord, if you're not willing to suffer the slings and arrows, just don't run. It's ridiculous. All right, well, enough of that. Let's get into some fun things. So we usually do
Absolutely.
more weird than wonderful first. So this one's a little more weird, but I kind of dig it.
Dig it, baby, dig it.
Dig it, baby, dig it. Yeah. You gonna take this one?
Yeah, we've seen our fair share of bizarre restaurant rules lately, but we were pretty shocked to hear about this one. We being Delish Magazine. I love the name.
Delish.
I wouldn't be surprised if Rachel Ray had something behind it. Anyway, Bliss Restaurant in Florissant, Missouri. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Sam, if you're listening, contact me and correct
Come on
me
the
if I'm wrong.
show. Yeah.
Near St. Louis, has been going viral since it was revealed that the establishment has strict age restrictions for entry. Women must be 30 to dine at Bliss, and men must be 35. I'm telling you, that'd be absolute heaven. We should go there and eat.
Men.
The restaurant is just something for the older people to come to, have a happy hour, come get some good food, and not have to worry about some of the young folks who bring some of that drama. Assistant manager Erica Rhodes shared with KDSK. In a Facebook post shared in May, Bliss, a Caribbean restaurant, yum, offered jerk chicken, yum,
Yum.
offered additional details on why they've chosen to enforce an age limit. Atmosphere, quality, and sustainability were among the reasons listed. To ensure a grown and sexy atmosphere, we require all guests to be 30 or older for women and 35 or older for men. This policy helps us maintain a sophisticated environment, uphold our standards, and support the sustainability of our unique ambiance.
Plus, they don't have to clean up as much because of the jerky parents that let their kids destroy the joint.
Bingo. Recently, we have incidents where our age requirement has been violated and put on social media, read the post. To reiterate, Bliss Caribbean Restaurant requires all guests to be 30 or older for women and 35 or older for men.
Why?
This policy...
Why do
yes?
men have to be older?
Because, typically men are older than women if you're looking at couples.
That's true because you're old as hell.
Yes, I'm old as the hills.
You're old
I'm
as
old
my-
as the dirt.
You're old as my dad.
Did you know that the number one song on the Billboard chart on the day I was born was "I Feel Fine" by these guys from Liverpool called the Beatles? I'm old.
You are old. Wow.
Oh, and the Supremes were the following. They topped the following week. I forget what song it was. I think "Come See About Me" or something like
How
that.
do you find out what the Billboard song was when you
You
were
go,
born?
you enter it into this thing called Google. Anyway, this policy is in place to ensure a mature, sophisticated, and safe dining environment for everyone. The notice was met with hundreds of comments, mostly for people applauding the restaurant for its policy. Anybody upset just doesn't understand what's happening with these businesses being torn up by a younger crowd, one person wrote. I was there last night and had a wonderful time. I love the age requirements, another user chimed in. There were some concerns about date night from those with a bit of an age gap between themselves and their significant other. May I ask why the men have to be older than the women? I would love to be able to come with my fiancé who's older than me, but he's not 35 for 2 more years, one person asked. Lastly, there was one user who pointed out the older crowd can also bring trouble. Some older people don't know how to act as well, unfortunately, they wrote. Well, too bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bliss
Okay.
Restaurant, if you're in the St. Louis area.
I'll be there.
Really?
I'll be there.
The Jackson Craxon, yeah, all right.
And the following week, I think I love you. So
I'm sleeping
those are the
and right in the middle of a sweet dream.
So yeah, the year that I was born, you got that one. What does Tears of the Clown sound like?
Dun, 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 dun. dun, 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 dun. Ooh. Oh yeah, baby. Now if there's a... Well, you expect me to hit notes like Smokey Robinson? What's the matter with you?
Yeah. And then after that,
Now
my
if there's a
sweet
smile
Lord.
on my face, it's only that
There he
trying
goes,
to
there he
fool the public.
Okay,
But
yeah.
when it comes down to fooling you...
We're going to get DMCA'd because
That's
he sounds
just
so
a
good, they're going to
different
think it's the
subject.
original.
Yeah, right.
And then after that was my sweet Lord. I'm getting
Not-
sued now. Oh, my Lord. Gonna get sued now. I really want to pay ya.
He's so fine. Do-lang, do-lang, do-lang. Never mind.
And what's really sad is he probably totally did not.
It was, if it was anything at all, it was in his subconscious. Okay, that's.
Oh, August of that year. I want to make it with you.
Well, you're gonna go through the whole bloody year. We got an article to
Yeah,
read.
we got really good song.
Articles
Cracklin'
to read.
Rosie. I mean, geez, this is a good year.
Ah, Cracklin' Rosie, get on board. Ah.
August. Just like me.
They long to be close to you.
Ooh, the long and winding road.
Bang, bang.
Leads a place to you. Ooh, oh, May. Dun 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 dun.
American
Inflatable
kitten,
woman!
stay away from me.
Nah.
American kitten, Mama, let me be.
He really does
I
hate the
don't
kitten.
want to see you around my door. Get thy face from off my floor.
That's true. He hates the kitten.
Your face I truly do abhor.
Max.
Well, what?
Kitty just wants to be your friend. Ooh. Okay, March. Wow, from February 28th all the
That
way
was
to
a
April 4th.
fantastic year for music.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Like a bridge over troubled water.
Nobody really sings like
I
our
will
Garfunkel, do
ease your
they?
mind.
Garfunkel was amazing.
The man had
He's
he had an
amazing.
ethereal.
He's still around, so he is amazing. He's not a
He
was.
has an ethereal voice.
Yeah.
When he hit,
Yeah, he's got gorgeous,
Yeah.
gorgeous voice.
Yeah, he had some. Wow, there's some really. Raindrops keep falling on my head, just like the,
great
guy's feet are
Burt
too
Bacharach.
big for his.
We just
bed.
talk about this instead of the other crap. I don't know.
Seriously, this was a great year. I was born in an awesome year. You all can suck it because 1970 was an awesome year. Now everybody knows how old I am. Oh well.
Satisfaction.
Meh.
Come see about me by the.
This is the year you were born?
But it's 1965.
Okay, all right.
And there was the Beatles were at the top of the charts. So were the Supremes. And so were the
Okay,
Stones.
top this one.
Yeah.
April 11th.
Okay.
Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Can
I'm going to
we
start an
top the
argument.
best song
I'm going to start an
ever?
argument. Are you
Is
going
there
to
a
start an
song
argument?
better
No, I'm
than
not.
this
Yes, you are.
one?
No, you're not. Yes, you are.
I dare you to find a better song than Let It
I
Be.
Feel Fine by the Beatles is a better song than Let It Be by the Beatles. There, I said it. The divorce papers are on their way, I'm sure.
All right, outsing me.
I'll sing you what?
Outsing me. You do yours and I'll do mine.
What are you
I
talking
challenge you to a
It's
sing-off.
not about the ability to sing
Yes,
this
it
stupid
is.
song.
I feel fine. Let's hear it.
No.
You know, I can't even think of the song. That's how important it was to me.
Okay, can we move on?
No, I know you're doing so good.
Baby's good to me, you know. She's happy. It's Mick Jagger. What am I doing?
Yeah, what the hell? That was like if the Stones did. She said so. I'm in love with you and I feel fine. No, I'm sorry. Let It Be. One of the most beautiful songs ever written.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was the original Let It Go! Let It Go!
I just said that to annoy you. You know, I think Let It Be is one of the best
One of
songs
the
ever.
most beautiful songs
Yeah.
ever written. Up there with Amazing Grace. I said it. There. I said it. Come at me.
Well, you heard her, Lord.
They were more
at me.
popular than Jesus. Let's face it.
they at the time, but with the youth, they were.
And
more
even Jesus
popular.
was like, "Yeah, I'm
I
coming
kinda-
back though, dude. You're not."
I wear the long hair better than you do, John. Just,
There is
just
that.
So you're that.
There is that. Oh, and Jesus didn't need glasses. I'm gonna rotten hell.
Jesus wasn't an atheist either.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Oh. Yeah,
Well,
but
John
you know
Lennon
what?
was an unrepentant
You know what?
atheist. What?
Jesus wasn't a Christian either.
That's true.
Yeah.
Do we really have to go into that?
No, it's kind of fun.
of.
Anyway,
Anyway,
I got American one. Oh, everything is
All
beautiful.
right. Well, now I gotta look up the songs in 1965
in
because
its
we're
own
just
way.
okay. Top Billboard
Along in a
songs.
winding road.
1960 dang 5.
Mama
Let's
told
look
me not to come.
at- Okay, for Three Dog Night, I love them.
I wanna make it with you.
All right, here. I'll just go through the. Are you kidding me with this? This absolutely destroys my argument.
I
The number one song in 1965, Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs, Woolly Bully.
win. I get war. Oh, yeah. What is
No, I
it
love that
good
song.
for? Absolutely. Ooh,
No, but-
I also got Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Ah-ha.
Well, okay. Let me give you a few of the better songs. I Can't Help Myself, Sugar Pie Honey Bunch by Four Tops.
Crackle and
Satisfaction. Wait a minute.
Crackle and Rosie.
Crackle this.
Crackle
You had your time. Mine turn. Satisfaction. You
Okay.
were on my mind. You lost that love and feeling. Try to top that one.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Downtown Help by the Beatles, which was a
You-
better song
You
than
automatically get laid when you play this song. I mean, that song has a lot of power.
You Saw Me Crying in the Chapel. Thank you very much. Help Me Rhonda, King of the Road, Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, I Got You Babe, This
Dun, dun,
Diamond Ring,
dun, dun.
Mrs. Brown,
can't
You've got
sing,
a
babe.
lovely daughter,
I love that song. That
Stop
song's
in
so
the
much
Name
fun.
of Love, Unchained Melody, Righteous Brothers,
Oh, my love.
Caramia Mine, never mind that, Mr. Tambourine Man,
I love
What's
that
New
song.
Pussycat by
Whoa,
Tom Jones,
whoa.
who just turned 84. And he's
We
still.
read that story about the guy who played that 85 times in a bistro. I think we played that.
Did I?
I
Did
thought we
Yeah.
read that story.
And Ticket to Ride by the Beatles.
She's got
Game
a
of Love by
ticket to
Wayne
ride.
Fontana, great song. Dumb songs like The Name Game.
I don't know.
I Know a
Oh,
Place by
Banana
Patchouli.
Fofana?
Yeah, that
song's
one.
Okay.
Jolly
Wait,
Green Giant by
I
the
thought
Kings
those
of
were
Lindo.
like camp songs. Those actually were on Billboard?
And of course, the all-time greatest rock and roll song everish. Oh, I'm Henry the Eighth, I am.
And really, I thought I am. I
And then
am.
there was the song that split up the Yardbirds temporarily, For Your Love.
Really?
Yeah, but
That's a good song.
it's a fantastic song. The problem is Eric Clapton, who was the guitarist at the time, was a blues purist and didn't want to go into this pop stuff, so he left.
Oh, Clapton, come on. You ended up giving up later anyway.
I know.
Dude.
But hey, they replaced him with Jeff Beck, and
There is that.
that's when things really took off for
They,
them.
they
so.
had good taste. You had to, yeah.
Go Now, first
Go
big hit
Now.
by the Moody Blues.
Go now.
8 Days a Week by the Beebles.
8 days a week.
Tired of Waiting for You by the Kinks. All Day and All the
So
Night by the
tired.
Kinks.
Where's
It's
the
Not
kinky?
Unusual by Tom Jones.
Double kinky?
Yeah. Tired of Waiting for You by the Kinks. Another thing by the Kinks.
What is the other one?
All Day and All of the Night. which
All
is-
day and all of the
which
night.
is really
Oh,
true.
that's a classic. The only
They were basically they set the template. Would you agree with me? Would you agree with me that these guys set the template for hard rock
Punk.
and punk?
Punk.
Absolutely.
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 Yeah.
Let's see. A couple more. The Race is On by Jack Jones.
I don't know that one.
The Race is On and the thing and the stuff. Anyway,
I still don't know that
I
one.
don't know it that well.
Thanks a lot.
Laugh at Me by Sonny
Don't know that one either.
of Sonny and Cher. The Sonny
Laugh
of
at
Bono.
me as I run into a tree.
Laugh at me, I
I'm
was
sorry,
killed by a
Sonny,
tree.
but seriously, dude. If anybody was gonna go out that way, is that man? I swear. You know, did you ever read the statement that Cher made at his funeral?
I read it. Yeah,
The
it's,
kindest, sweetest, most genuine thing that she's probably ever said.
she's. I love Cher. I'm not getting
I
into her
love-
politics. I love Cher.
Yeah, she's a political
Back in My Arms
idiot,
Again
but-
by the Supremes. Hey, really stoned by Bob Dylan. I'm good. I don't know if the beat's
Like
1970,
I'm really
but
stoned? Is that the song? Like
No.
I'm really stoned.
it sounded like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done. We're moving on.
Okay. Well, that was fun, guys. Memory lane.
Memory lane.
Send in the number one song on the day you were born, and we will mock it and sing it poorly on our show. So
Just
send
like
it-
we did all of these others.
Head on over to counterculturewise.com, and you can find all the ways to contact us and feed us.
Please feed us.
Please feed us.
Please
and
feed us.
let us know what your favorite song was. Of course, if we offended you with any of this, please head on over to the ID10T form, fill it out, and we will give it the attention
Let's
it
face it.
deserves.
If we offended you, I'm going to quote Bob Dylan. Yes, well,
Well, you heard
okay.
it straight from the horse's mouth. There you go.
Yeah. Wilbur, stop flogging me. Okay.
Well,
News of the Weird and Wonderful.
that was an interesting story. All right.
Indeed.
This, I want this.
You want this.
I want
You want
this.
this.
I want this. I want
I
this
want it,
so
I
bad.
want it,
I
I
want
want
it.
it.
I want it. You can.
Whoa,
Well,
dude.
actually, I can have it. Somehow, this $10,000 flamethrower robot dog is completely legal in 48 states.
Is Texas one of them?
Hey, Sadie, we could put a flamethrower on your back boob. That would get the squirrels. She
Certainly
loves
would.
chasing the squirrels. If you've ever been wondering when you'll be able to order the flame-throwing robot dog that Ohio-based Throw Flame first announced last summer, that day has finally arrived. The Thermonator! What Throw Flame bills as the first ever flamethrower-wielding robot dog is now available for purchase, and it's only $9,420.
I want one.
I want one.
I want one.
So, folks, head on over to counterculturewise.com and donate
And
so
start
we
our
can
new
get
Therminator Fund.
our Therminator fund. Yes, Therminator is a quadruped robot with an ARC flamethrower mounted to its back. We could use that. That would take care. You wouldn't need a lawnmower anymore.
It'd
That
kill
would
off
take
all the
care of our
poison
entire-
ivy.
Yeah, that would take care of our entire back 40. Fueled by gasoline or napalm. You can still get napalm?
I had no idea you could do that.
I'm not doing napalm.
No.
It features a 1-hour battery, a 30-foot flame-throwing... 30-foot, oh God bless America, and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity for remote control through a smartphone.
Are you ticked off at your neighbors? Never
I could
mind.
literally just sit here and watch my robot dog flame all of those weeds all day.
Problem is, it would also set off all the flowers and trees and crap.
Don't care, because underneath all of those weeds are scorpions.
Kill them all.
Our house is like a
Let God
haven
send
for
them down to
scorpions.
hell.
It also includes a LiDAR sensor for mapping and obstacle avoidance, laser sight, obstacle avoidance like trees. you
Okay,
know,
all right.
laser sighting. God, wouldn't that be funny if somebody came up our driveway and they just got one of them laser dots in their eye, right between their eyeballs? And when they come around the corner, they see this robot dog with a flamethrower. They're like, I'm not going to try to
I'll
sell you
Jehovah's
insurance.
Witness somewhere else. I'm just gonna.
I'm just gonna Jehovah's Witness.
I'm
over
gonna
this one.
Avon somewhere else.
Well,
just gonna-
apparently, according to neighbors, because we live out in the sticks, folks, we live way the heck out in
way
the
out in the sticks.
Apparently, some guy was out here on one of them little hoverboard thingies and came up somebody's driveway. And most of our driveways are about a quarter-mile long, some longer. Apparently, came up one of the driveways that said, "Do not trespass." He trespassed anyway, and they might have fired off a warning shot or two. I don't think he's trespassing anymore. Just saying. It's Texas, boo-boo. Listen to those signs. If it says don't trespass, don't be trespassing. But we're nice. Ours say welcome and love is here and, God bless you, which is why nobody ever comes up our driveway.
In the name of
Welcome! Wink. The product appears to integrate a version of the Unitree Go-To Robot Quadruped that retails alone for $1,600 in its base configuration. Well, doesn't Elon Musk sell flamethrowers? I have to
yes,
find
he
out
does.
if I can.
It mentions it further down in the
Oh,
article.
it does. Okay.
Yeah.
The company lists possible applications of the new robot as wildfire control and prevention, agricultural management. That's what we'd use it for. Ecological conservation, snow and ice removal.
Now that may come in handy in January.
I don't recommend using it on your car, though.
No.
And entertainment and SFX, which is also what we'd use it for.
Fire!
But most of all, it sets things on fire in a variety of real-world scenarios. I want this so bad, folks. Seriously. Back in 2018, Elon Musk made the news for offering an official Boring Company flamethrower that reportedly sold 10,000 units in 48 hours.
That's a genius.
Okay, paint
Marketing,
it
if
gold,
nothing
brand it
else.
Trump, and you'll probably sell 10 times that much. It sparked some controversy because flamethrowers can also double as weapons. Really? Aww. Everything can double as a weapon. I've got a screwdriver I could use as a weapon. I could use the fork I just ate my tuna fish with as a weapon. Come on, people. Flamethrowers are not specifically regulated in 48 U.S. states, although general product liability and criminal laws may still apply to their use and sale if you get caught. They're not considered firearms by federal agencies. Special restrictions exist in Maryland, of course, where flamethrowers require a federal firearms license to own, and California, where the range of flamethrowers cannot exceed 10
It
feet.
never rains in California.
I think I could still do what I need to do with a 10-foot range, though.
Not as much.
Even so, to state the obvious, flamethrowers can easily burn both things and people, starting fires and wreaking havoc if not used safely, according to... But I want the dog. I want it
According
so
to the
bad.
Well
Look at
Duh
the doggy.
Foundation.
I want it so bad.
According to the Well Duh Foundation.
I want this. All right. See if you can top it, Jimmy.
I don't know if I can top that. That's pretty bad.
It's pretty
cool.
badass.
All right.
I want it so bad.
The word of the day is coprolite.
All right. We get to learn a new word. Coprolite.
Coprolite. The owner of the world's largest collection of fossilized poop is now showing off this collection of dino droppings and other ancient waste at his new Pooseum in Arizona. George Franzen earned the Guinness World Record for the world's largest collection of coprolites, the scientific term for fossilized feces.
I wonder where they came up with that word, because it just sounds so not pooey.
Coprolites? I have no idea.
I wonder if that's what Biden's actually doing.
Anyway,
I'll just
scientific
be
term
over
for
here
fossilized
thinking.
feces in 2015, with 1,277 fossils that once graced the digestive tracts of ancient animals. Franzen turned his collection, which now numbers 8,000 pieces, into a virtual exhibit and took the physical coprolites around to various museums as a touring exhibition for years. He has now opened a permanent Pooseum location in Williams,
I
Arizona.
love that it's called a Pooseum. That's a brilliant.
Several years ago, I noticed a glaring...
Arizona, next time we drive to Vegas, let's
Yeah, we'll stop there.
detour to the Pooseum.
Sure. Several years ago, I noticed a glaring absence of coprolite representation in mainstream sources and museum exhibits, Franzen told Guinness World Records. The Pooseum, billed as the world's premier dinosaur poop museum and gift shop, offers free admission to all visitors.
Really?
Our revenue is generated primarily through our dinosaur-themed gift shop, ensuring that access to knowledge and discovery remains unrestricted, Franzen said.
I like
The
that.
museum owner, who quit his job at a healthcare company earlier this year and moved his family from Florida to Williams to make his dream a reality, said he first became fascinated with fossilized feces at a Utah rock store when he was 18.
Well, I have the video. Would you like to see the video of him saying that?
Let's see it.
Right here is named Precious. This is the largest true-to-form coprolite ever discovered. Why I say true to form is because it still carries the original form from when it was made 20 million years ago. The maker made it, it had a soft landing in the muck and murk of some swamp and became fossilized. Very few even get close to this size. That's why it's named Precious. This collection started when I was 18 in college. I was told to make a fossil collection for a paleontology class I was taking. I came across a coprolite and I thought it was the neatest thing in the whole world. And since then, I've collected a little bit more and a little bit more, a little bit more. 18 years later, when my house started becoming filled with fossilized feces, I thought, this might be something more than just a big collection. This might be the world's largest collection of coprolite.
I'm not going to show the whole video for obvious reasons, but he's a very passionate,
Well, if
passionate.
you be passionate, find something to be passionate
It
about.
is actually really fascinating because that can tell you a lot about how they lived and
Their health.
what
Yeah,
they ate. I
absolutely.
mean, very, very interesting. Okay, so Quit his job at a healthcare company when he was 18, as he told us. Instantly! I found it both hilarious and fascinating. This sparked my curiosity. Well, you got it straight from the horse's mouth, ladies and gentlemen. Fun.
Fun.
So not only does he hold a Guinness World Record, but he now has his own Pooseum. Not to be confused with the streets of San Francisco.
Oh. So we got another story about fossils, and this time it's your turn.
Dinosaurs are really, really cool. My brother wanted to be a paleontologist when he was a kid. Okay, new fossils show what Australia... Of course it's Australia. They have the craziest things giant prehistoric thunderbirds look like and offer clues about how they died out. Well, they still have thunderbirds, so I'd be interested to see how big this puppy is. Around 45,000 years ago, Australia was home to a giant flightless bird called, oh lordy, Geniornis newtoni, which was 2 meters tall and weighed up to 230 kilograms. Hey,
Wow.
Jim, go find out how much that is in
How many
American.
kilograms now?
230.
230 kilograms.
2 meters tall and 230 kilograms. Paleontologists first discovered these so-called thunderbirds in the late 1800s. Yet exactly what Geniornis looked like has remained a mystery.
507 pounds.
Holy smokes!
That's big.
That's bigger than Lizzo. How tall is 2 meters tall?
How much?
2 meters.
2 meters?
That doesn't sound very tall.
It isn't. 2 meters to feet is like, 6.5 feet.
It's sizable. Okay, so a 6 foot 500-pound bird comes up and says, me, wait.
Probably want a cracker.
Give him the cracker. Okay, and up until now, no well-preserved fossil of, is it Geniornis? No fossil of his head has been found, so they didn't know what his head looked like. Interesting. Okay. Scientists have instead interpreted his appearance based on large flightless relatives such as the Dromornis and the more distinctly related emus. Okay. I remember one time up in Washington State, and I rode bareback. And so I'm riding my horse, and there's lots of backwoods and whatnot and trails that go every which way, and every now and then you come to a clearing, and we just happened to come to a clearing along a barbed wire fence. And all of a sudden, this dinosaur ran up to the fence, and my horse, it was an emu. My horse literally lifted 6 feet off the ground, did a 180-degree turn while off the ground, and took off.
Just like a cartoon.
Literally. And I'm just, like I said, I rode bareback, so I've got nothing to hold on to but the mane and holding on with my legs. And that horse took off. I couldn't even... She probably outrun NASCAR at that point.
Wouldn't want to have been on that horse.
She had no desire to engage with that dinosaur. And, of course, I had no idea what it was either because I'd never seen an emu. And who has emus in Washington State? But, yeah, I found out later that's what it was. It was an emu. They also had alpacas.
Well, alpacas are beautiful. But there's several alpaca farms
adore
in
alpacas. They are
Washington.
adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so lots of alpacas and llamas, apparently that's the thing. I was joking with Jim that when we moved to Las Vegas, I wanted to have an ostrich farm, and he thought I was absolutely dead serious. I kind of was. Now I just want a goat and some chickens. So head on over to counterculturewise.com
and get our goats and chickens
we need
and
goats, chickens,
coprolite
and a
museum
flamethrower.
trip flamethrower
Yes.
fund.
Yes.
Yes.
Goat, chicken, and flamethrower. Well, the goat might make it so we don't need the flamethrower, but maybe we can attach the flamethrower to the goat. I'm just thinking. Anyways, we need chickens too.
Yeah.
All right.
Which means we also need a coop and all the accoutrements.
Accoutrements. If you let Max out, he doesn't know how to open the door. Sadie can open the door for him, but she's asleep. Sadie has learned to pull on a rag to open the door because it automatically closes. Get your tail all the way through. He's taking his time. He takes his time. From the dry salt lakes of the northeastern South Australia, we have now discovered several new Genioris fossils, including a complete skull. These finds show what this ancient thunderbird really looked like and offers clues on how it evolved, lived, and died. This research is now published in Historical Biology, which is capitalized so much
Must be a magazine.
or something,
Yeah.
So here we have pictures of the fossil, the eye, the brain case. It gives us an idea of what it looks like. The skull. Geniorinus and its cousins in the family of the good god Dromonithidae. I'm a math teacher. Give me a break. Bless you, gracious. Have unusually large skulls for flightless birds. They also have short brain cases and oversized jaws. Geniorinus is set apart from other Dromornithids by a distinctive upper jaw, which gives the bird a unique appearance. It kind of looks... Well, it doesn't have a hook bill, so it's not quite dodo-ish. The bird has a tall skull joined to a large and robust lower jaw, suiting its name, which roughly means jaw bird in Greek. Okay, Geniorinus, jawbird. Okay, so there's the upper jaw, the brain case, a bunch of other words that I'm not going to use. Alrighty, the complete skull and individual testiculated bones of Geniorinus newtoni, based on the fossil material. So they got all this from a rock. I mean, because this is what it looked like, and this is what they got from it. So that's kind of cool. The upper jaw is long and a bit longer than, a bit higher than it is wide, with an especially spatulate. Okay, I'm not going to read this, people. Head on over to counterculturewise.com to see the rest. But here is what it would look like next to a bunch of other modern gigantic birds. One of which is the cassowary, which my sister had a run-in with. Cassowaries are terrifying because not only are they gigantic, they're a little bit aggressive and they're very colorful. And if there's one thing I've learned from Pride events is when something really big and colorful comes at you, run. Your turn.
My turn. The FBI reached a settlement with whistleblower Marcus Allen after he was suspended without pay and had his security clearance pulled after he made protected disclosures regarding the testimony of Director Christopher Wray concerning the January 6, 2021 Capitol thing. Nonprofit watchdog Empower Oversight announced the settlement Tuesday after it filed an appeal on behalf of Allen in October 2023. The settlement includes 27 months of back pay and benefits that the FBI withheld from Allen since he was suspended in February 2022. Separately, the FBI also restored his security clearance. Allen, who resigned...
Closing the barn door after the horses left.
Allen, who resigned voluntarily from the FBI this week, said the Bureau retaliated against him for his disclosure.
Yes, they did.
Although a final OIG report would likely have supported Allen's retaliation claims, the FBI granted his appeal before the OIG reported on its findings. Smart move, dudes. Empower Oversight said in a press release regarding Allen's statement. They did not say the smooth move, dudes. That was me.
Yeah, too little, too late.
Allen urged there to be accountability to prevent this from happening to others in the future.
Nope.
While I feel vindicated now in getting back my security clearance, it is sad that in the country I fought for as a Marine, the FBI was allowed to lie about my loyalty to the U.S. for 2 years, Allen said. Unless there is accountability, it will keep happening to others. Better oversight and changes to security clearance laws are key to stop abuses suffered by whistleblowers like me.
Yeah.
Empower Oversight President Tristan Levitt called the settlement a total vindication for his client.
Yes.
The FBI has completely backed down and provided everything that we had asked for on behalf of Marcus. It's clear from the evidence in the FBI's capitulation there was absolutely no truth to their accusations. We couldn't be happier for Marcus and his family, Levitt also said. Empower Oversight is still urging Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz to release the findings of his investigation into potential FBI wrongdoing in Allen's case. I doubt they're going to get that.
Yeah.
Because they'll just claim immunity and move on.
Mm-hmm.
Your inquiry has undoubtedly gathered additional important context to help set the record straight. So Mr. Allen respectfully requests that you release that information in the interests of transparency and accountability. Levitt wrote in a letter to Horowitz on Tuesday.
Good luck with that.
Now, I don't know exactly
everything involving this, but anyway, the important thing is
I think we're going to see
Here's
a
what
lot
we-
more of this going forward, especially if we get rid of the cabbage.
yeah.
Because they've been persecuting people for just stupid. There is a man in jail right now for posting a meme. He posted a meme that the lefties do every year when there's elections, and somehow they came after him because it was. This is the United States of America. You do not get thrown in jail for
used to
posting
be.
a meme. That's ridiculous.
Used to be.
Well, it used to be. Yeah, I'm
Used to
kinda
be.
with you on that one.
But here comes the guy who's going to do something about it. Your turn.
My turn. It doesn't take a Trump devotee to see what they're doing to us.
That's
And,
true.
You know, I'm not, oh, you're a cultist. No, actually, I'm not.
I don't worship Trump. I worship
No,
God. Okay,
I worship
thanks.
Jesus Christ. That's the only thing I will ever worship. I don't worship money. I don't worship fame. I don't worship Trump for God's sake. I don't worship Trump. But what they're doing to him is pretty clear.
Yeah.
And folks are starting to wake up.
And this article comes from our friend on YouTube, Mr. Paul Joseph Watson.
Oh, he sent this to us. Okay.
Yeah.
Minutes after Donald Trump was convicted in a political show trial, which it was, venture capitalist and former Hillary Clinton donor Sean McGuire revealed he had donated $300,000
Nice.
to Trump. Folks, if you would like to donate to counterculturewise.com, you can knock off about 3 of those zeros and we'd still be happy. To Trump's campaign because he refuses to live in a society where people are afraid to speak amen. Trump was convicted on all 34 counts in a move that many see as America's final descent into a third world banana republic, where the legal system is weaponized to silence political opposition, which is exactly what they're doing. McGuire was one of numerous prominent people to react by asserting their support for Trump. I just donated $300,000 to President Trump. The timing isn't a coincidence, he posted on X. He also posted a lengthy article explaining the reasons behind his decision, noting that he had voted for and gave money to Hillary in 2016. So he was stupid, but now he's come to his senses. I know that I'll lose friends for this. Some will refuse to do business with me. The media will probably demonize me, as they have so many others before me. But despite this, I still believe it's the right thing to do. I refuse to live in a society where people are afraid to speak. And that is what they want. I mean, folks are being jailed for memes. In the United States of frickin' America, folks are being jailed for memes. McGuire cites Biden's debacle in Afghanistan and his contribution to fostering global instability as 2 of the main reasons why he could never vote for a Democrat. That and the child trafficking. The investor said he had spent hundreds of hours following the trials and researching the charges against Trump, concluding that they were all politicized, underhanded forms of lawfare purely designed to prevent him from winning the 2024 election. See, this is why they tell us that we should never do our own research. They literally tell you not to do that. In fact, you will be mocked by leftists if they find out you did your own research. For God's sake, do not research it yourself. Do not learn. They don't want you to be educated. And then they turn around and say, educate yourself. That's their number one thing. Educate yourself. And then when you do, they're like, you did your own research? You tinfoil hat wearing crazy person? If these are the worst things they can find, then he did less wrong than otherwise I would have assumed.
True.
I mean, this is how desperate they are. Oh, he is such a vile, racist Nazi that we have to take him down for an accounting thing. There's a real chance President Trump is convicted of felony charges and sentenced to prison. Bluntly, that's part of why I'm supporting him. I believe our justice system is being weaponized against him, and it is. 100%. Billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman, who previously demanded Trump resign and apologize to all Americans for January 6th, is also reportedly planning to announce his support for Trump.
It's like I said over the last few weeks, the never Trumpers are now saying never say never.
Those that are smart. What you're seeing are the smart people going, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. We're still in Wonderful.
We're still way into Wonderful.
Way into Wonderful. This one is a lot of fun. Do you want to see the video first, or do you want to read it first?
Why don't we watch the video? This house is gorgeous. Oh my God, it is like a dream home. It's amazing.
Well, let's watch the video.
We're here in Pudsey, about to surprise our next grand prize winner.
Hi, it's Chris.
Hi, Chris. It's Jo from the Omaze £1 Million House Draw.
Oh, wow, hello.
You've won one of our prizes. Hi.
Hello.
Come on out here and join me. Are you ready to find out what you've won?
I am.
All right. Hit it.
This is so cool how they tell him.
Suspense is killing me.
You won
I can retire. I'm retiring.
Well, here's the key to your £2.5 million house.
Things like this just don't happen to me, but apparently they do, and it feels amazing, and I can't think amazed enough. Oh, look at that. That is amazing.
That is a gorgeous
Isn't
house.
that gorgeous?
Beautiful.
Morning.
Morning!
So, first impressions of the house.
It has the wow factor.
And it is stunning, it's beautiful. I can't wait to see the rest of it.
Should we go and have a look around?
I'd love to.
Yes, please.
Go on, back to you.
Okay. Oh, wow. Wow, look at
Look
this.
at that view.
Imagine
Oh my
waking up to this every morning.
goodness.
Wow.
I
Wow.
could never, ever imagine myself somewhere like this.
It's ours, Mr. Knowles.
So, what was the dream?
3 kids, all at different ages, all in different places, in fact. But we can give them the start that we never had. That's really important.
Oh, he's crying.
Sorry.
So
Don't
sweet.
apologise. Congratulations
Thank
to
you
you
so much.
guys
Thank
and
you.
Thank you.
all the family.
I knew I saw that.
That's amazing. That
So,
is
yeah, he's,
amazing.
This is a £2.5 million home, and he's actually going to be selling it.
Oh, what? Okay,
yeah.
so that was my first, as a cynic, my first question was, how is he going to pay the taxes on that?
Well, I mean, you win something like that, you could find a
Oh,
way.
it does say tax-free.
Yeah.
Also received a cash prize of £100,000 tax-free. Okay,
Yeah.
so why is he selling it?
So he can give his children the start in life I never had. Because he grew up in government housing. He was in grew up in
Couldn't
public
he
housing.
give them the life they never had in that amazingly beautiful house?
I don't know. He made the decision. What you gonna do? If they did decide to rent it out, it's estimated the property could achieve a long-term rental value between £5,000 and £6,000 per month. But instead, the couple will buy a new, smaller home together in Yorkshire, knowing the contest has changed their families' lives forever. Not only will we be able to afford a new house for us, we can also get all our children on the property ladder now. It means so much to be able to give them the start we never had. My son lives in Australia, and we've only seen him once in the past 6 years. Now we can go and see him whenever we want and fly him all over in style, too. It's just bonkers.
Okay, my brother lives in Australia, and I'd pretty much give anything to have that ability. I haven't seen him since
So,
my
I
mom
mean,
died.
his heart's in the right place. I mean, I would have kept it because that is a stunning home.
Right.
absolutely stunning.
And then let it go up in value and let the kids sell it when you pass.
Well, there you are. Maybe somebody can talk him into doing that instead. But at any rate, congratulations,
He
sir.
seems like a really, really sweet.
No, he seems like a
sweet
decent
man.
fellow. He does.
Yeah, I like it when people who win big things that normally would make me jealous
Mm-hmm.
are good people. That takes all the jealousy away.
Yep. Well, our cat Maximilian von Riegelbieser went missing for 10 days a few years ago, and
And
it
was
caused
torture.
us. It caused some mental torture, but
I
at
think
the
we
same
did a
time,
whole
we,
episode talking about
yeah,
it.
I started writing a
You even got
series
the
of
thumbnail.
sketches, and
Yeah.
but anyway, that's nothing compared to what this gentleman went through.
Sweet kitty.
Yeah.
An Englishman has been reunited with a family cat who has been lost for 12 years. That's an old kitty.
That's an old kitty.
Max is
That's
what?
He's 13.
Yeah. And Max is sundowning. He's an
Yeah.
old kitty.
Yeah.
Theo Will McKenna, then just 17 years old, was attending university near the family's home in Conisquay, Wales, when their cat Artie got out and never came home. McKenna remembers staying out for hours with a bag of treats but couldn't locate their beloved white and gray cat. McKenna would visit once a week for months to look some more, but gradually lost hope of ever seeing Artie again. This makes me want to drive out to Pahrump and see if our little Winky would...
Max's birth sister, Winky,
Yeah.
a.k.a. Maggie. Real sweet girl.
Pahrump ate her.
Yeah, the cat got eaten by Pahrump.
I reached the point where I thought that either, God forbid, something had happened to him or someone else had taken him in, he said. And my dream, my fantasy is that she tottered off in the middle of that storm and some little old lady who crocheted Afghans took her in and she spent the rest of her life in the lap.
That's what I want to believe.
That's
Definitely
my
what I
story
want
and
to
I'm
believe.
sticking to it. Then in 2024, residents of a home in Conisquay called a local veterinarian after a gray and white cat appeared in their backyard one day and stayed put for 4 days straight. The respondent vet found that the cat, who turned out to be the missing Artie, was carrying a microchip.
Always microchip your pets. I don't
All
care
of
if
our
you're.
pets are microchipped.
I don't care if they're 24/7 indoor cats
Every
or
pet
dogs.
we have is microchipped.
Always do
Registered
that.
to Theo Will McKenna's mother. I want to microchip Jim too. They should
Burr?
microchip Biden so when he wanders off, they can figure him out. Okay.
No.
Theo, mother and contact number for North Clyde Animal Rescue, NCAR. NCAR got the call and came to pick up Artie, but with the microchip registered to an old phone number. Oh my God, these guys went above and beyond. This is so cool. They took to Facebook to try and find the McKennas. How sweet is that? That is just the sweetest thing. It's like, oh, I mean, it's been so many years and this number is old, so they're actually taking the next... Nobody does that. That's the sweetest thing.
Mm-hmm.
One of Theo Will's friends apparently recognized Artie and sent the post to him. My heart is just exploding right now. This is the sweetest thing. They got him stable and then posted on their Facebook page explaining that he'd been found. My friend saw it and sent me the post. It took me a second to recognize him because he looked so bedraggled and skinny. Jingle, jingle goes the
Really?
itchy dog. Yeah.
Really, dog?
Jingle, jingle. It didn't feel real. I thought there was no way it could be him, he added. It had been 12 years. He went missing when I was 17. I thought no cat could survive 12 years on the street. Artie then received some much-needed medical treatment, removed some teeth, treated his hyperthyroidism, and took out some precancerous lumps in his ears. Poor little guy's seen
That
it.
was a mess.
McKenna said, adding that while Artie's days on the streets were behind him, new challenges remained, like getting used to McKenna's other cat. Max has something to say about that. We're still in the trial period, but he's been completely fine. He's purring up a storm every time I go near him. My other cat has been a little bit wary, but we've been doing introductory methods and getting her used to his smell. It's a slow process, but I'm absolutely determined that he's staying with me. the sweetest story I've heard in so long. McKenna set up a GoFundMe to ensure that 16-year-old Artie receives all the medical care he needs in the twilight years of a tumultuous life. His veterinary care amounts to about $65. $65 per month is nothing. That's nothing. That's how much it costs to walk in the door just to get Sadie's medication.
It's Britain. It's different.
Well,
It's Wales. So.
Support Artie. All links on counterculture-wise. It's yet can.
And now CCW News presents Holy Crap, This Is Actually Happening! Two-tier edition, June 9, 2024. I'm Chuck U. Farley. After booing, then cheering President Trump, who had the cojones to speak at the Libertarian Party's convention, the Donster told them they could waste their typical 2% voting block on a loser, like usual, or simply vote for him to get a win for once. Of course, the Libertarian Party couldn't nominate a candidate who hadn't even filled the paperwork for their party, so they did the next best thing. It took 7 rounds of votes, but they finally nominated Chase Oliver after the frontrunner, Michael Rechtenwald, boned his speech because he was high on an edible. No, I swear, I am not making this up. Gotta love those libertarians. Oliver is 38, proudly gay, pro-open borders, and an Obama supporter. He told CNN that he feels confident he'll garner 2% of the vote. So basically, the Libertarians did nominate Trump after all. Speaking of voter turnout, since Democrats tend to vote long after they've died, it seems only logical that they start electing politicians who are already dead as well. And that is exactly what they did in New Jersey. After suffering a fatal heart attack, Representative Donald Payne Jr., who notably took over the position after his father died in 2012, remained on the ballot and won the primary by a landslide because New Jersey. Merrick Garland, who himself is in contempt for refusal to comply with a congressional subpoena, has sent Steve Bannon to prison for the crime of failing to respond to a congressional subpoena. I swear, I am not making this up. Once considered near brain dead after his stroke, John Fetterman seemed the perfect Democrat candidate. Now that he has significantly recovered and actually understands what party he's supposed to represent, he's completely disassociated himself from the progressive label. Being pro-Israel and pro-border control, the Dems, being Dems, were swift to try and discredit him. Speaking of brain dead, the Pope met with the top comedians from America. Yes, folks, the United States sent what they, whomever they is, because it's not we the people, consider our funniest and most successful comedians to meet with the Pope. The comedians who went include Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Fallon, Jim Gaffigan, Whoopi Goldberg, James Martin, Tig Notaro, Chris Rock, and Conan O'Brien. 2 state-owned propagandists, a comic whose entire career is built around being a lesbian, and a TDSer who gave herself a fake Jewish name based on her ability to fart? This is who we send to the Vatican, folks. I swear I am not making this up. Meanwhile, the Cabbage-in-Chief honored the fallen in Normandy on D-Day by soiling his diaper and having to be led off stage by his caretaker Jill, thus causing the hashtag poopy to trend on the platform formerly known as Twitter. If watching that debacle left you with a sinking feeling, you're not alone. Biden has a penchant for sinking things, like foreign policy, the economy, and $320 million piers. The Gaza Pier, specifically built to help deliver food, medical, and other supplies efficiently and directly to Hamas, was not able to withstand the tumultuous ocean conditions and, like Biden's foreign relations, totally disintegrated. Bidenomics is clearly not working, but according to the cabbage regime, that's your fault for noticing. In fact, Bidenflation is so blatantly obvious that Democrats are desperately trying to move your focus off of how much more things cost in comparison to how much less money you earn, that they'll try anything, including allowing old Ice Cream Bucket Joe to ramble on about how his candy bars are smaller, and it's all big business's fault for wanting to turn a profit in his crappy economy. Bidenomics. The dollars melt in your hand and not in your mouth. Totally legitimately voted-in terrorist squad leader Rashida Taliban Tlaib continues to figure skate on the wrong side of history by leading protests showcasing literal Hamas members in orchestrated demonstrations that are paid for by China. Nothing to see here, Michigan. Just keep voting Democrat. Obviously gay Bond villain spawn Alex Soros is reportedly dating Hillary Clinton's totally platonic bestie, Huma Abedin, 11 years his senior, who recently divorced her husband after he was convicted for sexting children. It's a bit on point, but I swear I'm not making this up. For CCW News, this has been Holy Crap, this is actually happening. I'm Chuck U. Farley. Good night, and may God help us.
Ever had a day you felt so stupid, lacking a brain? Well, here's a guy who'll make you feel like a genius and maybe even sane.
All the world loves to laugh at losers as often as they can.
Here comes another chance to chuckle. Here comes the Florida Man.
Woo, doggy do, we have some fun ones for you today.
We-
These were fun collecting. None of the death and mayhem and dismemberment.
Yeah,
and-
we weren't able to even do it last
Yeah.
week because it was all this guy killed or stabbed or whatever. It wasn't
Fed their
that there was
child
nothing.
bleach or something crazy.
No-
but no,
nothing
these
funny.
these ones are more on par with our
Our-
beloved Florida man.
So
Did
this,
you want to grab the first one, Jim?
yeah, because it involves your favorite airline,
Oh yeah, Dispirited.
Dispirited Airlines. If it's so bad that we do a sketch about it, it's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
A Spirit Airlines passenger managed to track down her stolen luggage after it vanished when she arrived at a Florida airport.
I wonder if it was a Biden appointee who stole it.
Yeah, probably. We're using one of the stolen items to aid in her desperate search. Paola Garcia had been waiting.
Paola.
I just corrected myself. I said
Oh,
Paula
okay.
Paola.
Paola. She
Anyway,
actually looks like the Paola that I was friends with. Okay.
she does. So where was I? Oh yeah, Paola Garcia had been waiting for her small pink hard shell luggage containing several Apple products like her personal MacBook and 2 Apple Watches at the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport's carousel after returning home to the Sunshine State, Channel 10 reported. The exact timing of the incident remains unclear, but Garcia's desperation to find her stolen property led her to the apparent culprit's house even before local cops, because that's...
defund the police.
Yeah. Garcia told the outlet she always carried on her luggage without issue, but this time Spirit Airlines employees made her check the bag before she departed from New York, because of course they did. She panicked as she watched others grab their bags from the carousel and her luggage didn't appear. In my mind, I'm thinking, I need my computer because I go to the university. I need my computer no matter what, Garcia told the outlet. Garcia said she waited at least 2 hours before giving up hope that her luggage would arrive on the conveyor belt. Spirit Airlines.
Hours?
2 hours. I wouldn't have waited
Oh,
that
I would
long.
have carried down on them like they'd never seen.
Spirit Airlines employees told Garcia not to worry and that her luggage would be sent to her house, she told the outlet. And they probably said, like, ma'am, we'll get it to you. That's probably what they said. The next day, I'm a little bit prejudiced. The next day, she began receiving a ping from one of her Apple Watches, except it wasn't coming from the airport but 15 minutes away at a Fort Lauderdale home. It was the home of Junior Bazile. It looks like a Junior Bazile. He looks surprised. Anyway, Junior Bazile, who worked in the retail store Paradise Shops at the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport, according to an arrest affidavit obtained by Local 10. I'll bet he doesn't work there anymore. Determined to get her belongings back, she went to the home, found her suitcase and her things, and immediately called 911.
Wow, she lucky he didn't.
She was gutsy. That was
Yeah.
a gutsy thing to do.
I hope
She
was
must
armed.
really she must be one of the Apple cult. They just
Well, I
absolutely
mean,
love her.
that's several $1,000s
Yeah.
worth of merchandise.
Yeah, just a MacBook is insane. When police arrived, Garcia said the first thing they did was ask why she was at the home. The police told me, was like, what are you doing here? This is so dangerous for you to be here, Garcia explained.
Really dangerous. He could have been violent.
Yeah.
He was already a criminal.
Yeah, the Broward Sheriff's Office found that Bazile, 29, was an airport employee, former airport employee, and was working the day Garcia's things went missing. Unfortunately, by the time the police arrived, The alleged airport thief had already gotten rid of her
Of
belongings.
course he did.
An investigation was launched and police found pictures of Basile rummaging through Garcia's suitcase at the back of a store where he worked at the airport.
How did he get access to it?
Don't know. Basile was arrested and charged with grand theft, a felony offense in Florida. The values taken are worth over $750. In this case,
Way more.
way more. If found guilty of grand theft, the accused could face 5 to 30 years in prison. 30, and fines ranging from $5,000 to $10,000, depending on the case. But Garcia worries Basile may be part of a bigger operation of thieves, according to the outlet. Personally, I don't
He
think
won't
it's one
face any
person.
charges at all because he probably votes Democrat.
Who knows? Personally, I don't think it's one person working in the airport. I think it's a group, she said. One person can't do that. Take bags. Law enforcement did not reveal how Basile was able to steal the luggage. After it was confirmed that Garcia's luggage was stolen, Spirit Airlines released a statement saying it reimbursed her as a courtesy.
Reimbursed her for all of the things that she
We
lost.
issued a reimbursement check to the guest of courtesy, even though we are not currently aware of any evidence that a Spirit employee was involved, the airline told the outlet. We take any allegation of this nature seriously. We're still investigating.
I'm really surprised they went that far, to be honest.
They're tight-fisted. This is not the first time a Florida airport employee has been caught red-handed stealing from travelers. In June 2023, surveillance footage captured 2 TSA officers allegedly stealing at least $600 in cash and other items from unsuspecting passengers' luggage at Miami International
That's
Airport.
why never check bags. I mean, if I were to
And
ever
that's your
fly
tax
in.
dollars at work, ladies and gents.
Yep, that's your tax dollars. This next one is a lot of fun. A homeless Florida man wearing women's clothes who said he wanted to kill everyone intentionally drove a vehicle through the jail. Joseph Leedy, 40, drove a car through the doors of the Martin County Jail lobby Tuesday night. Images released by the sheriff's office show a Toyota halfway inside the jail building with the doors ripped off. He does not look well. After the crash, Leedy got out of the car wearing a female blouse and no pants.
No pants!
He was Minnie Mousing it. He allegedly poured motor oil on the floor and said he wanted to set it on fire. He continued making homicidal statements about police officers. This next one is a little bit of fun, and he is purty. A homeless Florida man wearing women's clothes who wanted to kill everyone.
Everyone?
Every
single
one? Yes. Intentionally drove a vehicle through the jail, authorities said Tuesday. Joseph Leedy, 40, drove a car through the doors of Martin County Jail lobby Tuesday night. Images released by the sheriff's office show a Toyota halfway inside the jail building with the doors ripped off.
Yeah, if you're going to run your car into some place, make sure it's a jail.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does not look well. What has he got on his head?
Looks like a rag or like a
Lord knows.
bonnet of some
Ah,
sort.
a bonnet.
No, it does look like a bonnet.
I just think of Mal saying
Everything's better
under
with
my
blue
pretty
bonnet on it.
After the crash, Leedy got out of the car wearing a female blouse and no pants. So he's Minnie Mousing it, I guess. He allegedly poured motor oil on the floor and said he wanted to set it on fire. He continued making homicidal statements about police officers and expressed his desire to kill everyone.
Ah.
Oh my god, this gets even better. While he threw rubber snakes on the floor and fought with deputies and fire rescue personnel. I'll tell you what, if I'm going to take the cops down, I'm going to drive my Toyota and I'm going to throw rubber snakes at them.
You asked for it, you got it. Toyota.
The crash caused thousands of dollars worth of damage to the building, but the car was only able to get halfway into the building.
Thank God.
No one was standing in the lobby at the time, thank goodness. Rubber snakes. God. Leedy was restrained and taken to a hospital where he was uncooperative, you think. He was then taken back to jail. Oh, wow, the trunk had all kinds of junk in it. You got junk in his trunk. He has been charged with 4 counts of aggravated assault. Man, no malicious mischief. What about the
Keep
rubber
reading.
snakes? Oh, sorry. On law enforcement officer criminal mischief.
Criminal
Yay!
mischief! Criminal mischief!
Rubber
Criminal
snakes, rubber
mischief!
snakes, rubber snakes, rubber snakes.
We do a special criminal mischief or malicious mischief dance every time
It-
mischief comes into the.
I just love the word mischief.
I was like,
It's
I was
so-
waiting, and you said, "Well, that's it." No, what do you mean?
No,
What-
you're right. I gotta be patient. The princess with the okay.
All right, princess lived happily ever after. That's all I really and for true care about.
All right. Your turn.
Oh my. Oh my.
I love this headline. The headline cracks me up.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Man allegedly causes $10,000 or $10K in damage to church before swinging trendy drink container at police
I think
officer.
$10K means $10,000.
Yes, I know. A Palm Bay, Florida man faces several charges after he caused $10,000 worth of damage in a church before striking a police officer with a Stanley tumbler, according to court documents. An arrest affidavit filed by the Palm Bay Police Department charges 24-year-old Timothy Donald Bornman with conspiracy to commit burglary, criminal mischief, yeah, at a place of worship, battery of a law enforcement officer, and resisting arrest, all felonies. Officers reported to a 911
Now, see,
call.
those are felonies, not line items on a accounting. Come on.
Are we going back to that? That was 2 weeks ago.
1 week ago.
Officers responded to a 911 call at 5:15 p.m. on Saturday with regard to a man who broke into Mission Church in Palm Bay. When officers arrived, they encountered Bornman. Looks like Booger from Revenge of the Nerds.
It does. Yeah.
With regard to...
Hey, at least this one was wearing pants, kind of.
That's true. When officers arrived, they encountered Bornman, who was only wearing shorts, close enough, and holding a metal Stanley tumbler. Those things are heavy. And
Yeah, I thought it was
durable.
hilarious that somebody in the comments, when it said he hit them with the Stanley Cup, it's like, the hockey?
There's always one.
Yeah, there's always
Bornman
one.
police said was walking in the church's parking lot while shouting and cursing at members of the organization, the congregation, I mean. One of the officers approached Bornman, the affidavit said, and he immediately told the officer, "I'm gonna, your mama said," never mind, and walked away. The officer reportedly pulled out his department-issued electric stun gun. Why'd you have to say all that? Just say a stun gun. And ordered the defendant to stop walking and to get on the
it could have been
ground.
like his Walmart blue light special ordered off of Temu, unofficial, branded by the NFL stun gun. I don't know.
Bornman complied by sitting on the ground, but then was a fool, got back up, and attempted to walk away once again.
I'm just going to leave now, if it's okay with you.
Police alleged that Bornman aggressively walked up to another officer on the scene and attempted to clock the officer in the head with a trendy stainless steel cup.
Ow.
The officer reportedly dodged the cup before Bornman allegedly hit him in the shoulder with the object. After striking the officer, police said Bornman attempted to flee, prompting the other officer to finally release the electric stun gun. The darts from the gun hit Bornman, and the electric current caused him to become incapacitated and fall backwards onto the pavement. I wish I had the video.
Me too.
Police said. When officers tried to put handcuffs on Bornman, he allegedly resisted for a brief time before officers succeeded. Before Bornman's arrest, members of the congregation reportedly told police he broke into a shed at the back of the church property and retrieved a sledgehammer from inside. With a sledgehammer in hand,
Why would a church need a sledgehammer? Were they expecting a comedian to come and smack watermelons?
I have no idea. With sledgehammer in hand, Bornman went to the front of the church and allegedly broke the door and walked inside. He then allegedly started breaking everything in sight, causing more than $10,000. What's this $10,000 worth of damage and mischief stuff this week?
I think it
at
has
the
to be a
church?
certain amount before you get the mischief.
Police said that after reading Bornman his Miranda rights, he confessed to being Carmen Miranda, breaking into the church and causing all the damage inside. I'm a Chiquita banana. Anyway, he also told police that the church stole everything from him, which is why he broke in and caused the damage, police said.
What did the church steal from him?
Bornman was taken to Palm Bay Community Hospital for treatment and then to Brevard County Jail.
I hope the comment is here. Let's see. People with nothing to lose. Oh man, the one I saw was The church didn't take everything from him. He had a Stanley Cup. That was my favorite.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
I would like to know what he meant by the church took everything from him.
Me
Maybe
too.
he's,
I'd like to hear more
he's
about that.
maybe he's a backslider. He went to church, and then
Maybe
something happened and
he
he
over-tithed and ended up homeless. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Now, I'm kind of on this guy's side on this one.
Really?
So, yeah. Well, let's see where this leads us. A Florida man declared war on license plate readers. An Altamonte Springs man was arrested after dismantling 22 license plate readers in Seminole County. So those are the cameras that are mounted up on stoplights and whatnot.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'm starting to see that.
And, of course, he was caught by that particular technology. Eric Fiedler, 35, is charged with 22 counts of property damage, along with theft and, here we go, burglary.
Perfect.
Counts.
Sort of.
By the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. He was arrested June 1 after deputies noticed missing flock safety Falcon license plate readers, otherwise known as LPRs. Flock safety?
Flippers.
Why? Flock safety, okay. Which the Sheriff's Office deployed to identify passing cars for surveillance purposes. A Seminole County detective first noticed 2 missing cameras in Longwood on May 6 after determining that a total number of 8 cameras were removed and in some cases submerged in water. A white sedan Fielder drove away on May 5th, registered in his wife's name, was later identified by the plate reader system. Of course it was. I just love that we get extorted for our hard-earned money so that a corrupt government can buy equipment to surveil us. And people are just like, okay.
Hey, they all bowed down and worshipped Fauci, who's another story this week.
Who admitted, by the way,
Yeah.
that he just made everything up.
Well, we'll be talking
admitted
about
it.
that earlier in the show.
Yeah, I made it all up. All right. Of course we will. When you realize you're being tracked every day, going to the grocery or school or church, you don't have any say in it. It's a little concerning to me, he told WTFV or whatever in the interview. It would be very simple to take a camera like that and put a radar on it. Oh, honey.
Babe, it's already happened.
Babe, yeah. 8 more cameras went offline on May 19th. I hope he wasn't putting himself in harm's way by climbing the pole and dismantling them when he could have just shot him. Reviewed surveillance footage that this time showed a white Honda minivan in the area of the missing readers and a subject on a bicycle near the cameras. So they set out to catch the thief in the act, which would be the IRS. On June 1st, detectives requested a county helicopter for aerial tracking. Wow, they're really upset. The target vehicle was spotted driving to 6 locations with plate readers nearby. Fielder allegedly used a bicycle retrieved from his trunk to travel to camera locations and dismantle the readers using a battery-operated drill and a knife. I've always wanted a battery-operated knife. He was arrested at a private residence in Longwood where he attempted to discard one of the readers. Seminole County Commissioners voted to approve the installation of 25 plate readers in March of 2023 for a 1-year research period research period. The cameras were leased from Flock Safety and are estimated to cost $4,300 each to replace.
That's kind of expensive.
That's kind of silly.
Yes.
Data from the system is encrypted and accessible only by law enforcement for official purposes. Nah. Just like all of your information on TikTok or WhatsApp. A similar system was installed by the University of Central Florida in 2019 at all campuses. Entrances and exits to check for stolen vehicles, license or tag expirations, suspensions, and individuals with criminal investigative interest. That's vague. The American Civil Liberties Union has criticized plate readers because they capture data on all vehicles that pass them, not just those involved in crimes.
They are right,
I think they should be universally
banned
illegal.
and thrown in the trash.
Universally illegal. All right, we're going back in time.
No, we're not.
Oh, we're not.
I keep trying to get. I'm trying to get.
A similar system was installed by the University of Central Florida in 2019 at all campuses, entrances, and exits to check for stolen vehicles, license or tag expiration suspensions, and individuals with criminal investigative interest.
Really?
That's vague.
What does that
Yeah,
mean?
well, I don't know. I'd be very
exactly?
criminally investigatively interested to find out what that means.
Indeed.
Sounds a little Minority Report to me.
A little.
The American Civil Liberties Union has criticized plate readers because they capture data on all vehicles that pass them, not just those involved in crimes. Who would have thunk?
Well, I mean, that should be obvious to anybody with a brain the size of a sewer pea. That
A sewer pea?
Le sewer, a little teeny. Never mind.
What's a sewer pea? I mean, every time you blow chunks, there's peas in there, even if you haven't eaten peas. So is that what those are?
No, I really rather want to move on. Thanks.
It's like, how did peas get in there? I haven't eaten peas at all. But there's always peas.
How often do you retch exactly? My God.
It's not me, it's everybody.
Anyway. Police give Mr. Monopoly a chance to go directly to jail.
Oh, boy.
After being stuffed into a patrol car, an accused vandal told police that his name was Mr. Monopoly.
Of course he did.
And that he was born, of course, on 4/20/69.
Of course he was.
Show. Investigators say Ryan Howard, 33, which means he was not born in 69.
Oh my gosh, he does kind of look like Ron Howard.
Yeah, sort of. Was arrested Saturday evening because he's kind of red-haired and bald.
Only men would say that they're older than they are.
True. Was arrested Saturday evening for spray painting a wall in St. Petersburg, Florida. When officers confronted him, Howard had a bag slung over his shoulder containing spray paint cans that could be observed in plain view. Told that he was required to identify himself, Howard was initially mute, but after being detained, Howard stated Mr. Monopoly and provided a date of birth of April 20th, 1969, according to a cop.
Now, you would know he was lying if he told you he was looking for his monocle.
That's true. Yeah, because he doesn't have a monocle. Howard was subsequently identified via his main driver's license. In addition,
man, so he wasn't even a Florida man? Boo.
Are you? But you're supposed. But boo. Okay, he was in Florida when it happened, so it counts as a Florida man, sort of, kind of. In addition to criminal mischief, rah 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 rah. Howard was charged with resisting.
We have to make a sounder for that.
Criminal mischief, la 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 la. Howard was charged with resisting, a misdemeanor for providing cops with a fake name and date of birth. Seen above, Howard had the chance to go directly to jail. He'll be released from custody after officials collect a $1,000 bond. And of course, next to that paragraph, there is a drawing of the famed Mr. Monopoly from one of my very favorite board games.
I'm intrigued. Why is the word weapon written over the top of... Oh, well, that would be why. A woman is arrested for battering a man with a cinnamon roll. Oh, and she purdy. So this is like a little extra.
Okay, let's...
This is this year's May, so it counts.
Okay.
It totally counts. Alrighty. TSG is committed
The smoking
to
gun.
Okay. Florida woman. This looks really tiny, so... Hey, hello. Come back here. Talking to my screen, don't mind me. A Florida woman was arrested Tuesday night after allegedly striking a man in the neck with a thrown cinnamon roll. Most men would say, "Why, thank you, kind madam," and to continue to stuff it down their face. Cops
That's what I would have done.
Yeah, that's what you would have done. Cops say Anne-Marie Luna, 37, chucked the food item at the back of a 49-year-old victim's head, striking him at the base of the neck. Oh, the horror! He probably had icing dripping down his spine. See what I did there? The cinnamon roll incident occurred at a transitional housing facility in St. Petersburg, Florida. Transitioning off of donuts would be better. An arrest, really? She got arrested for throwing a cinnamon roll. I mean, really? Come on, people. An arrest affidavit does not reveal a motive for the alleged cinnamon roll attack, which was recorded by security cameras. After being read her rights, you have the right to remain really yummy. Anything that you sprinkle can and will be held against you.
Oh.
Luna,
that's all
seen
I
at
want.
right, reportedly admitted to tossing the delicacy. The affidavit indicates that no weapon was seized by the investigators, probably because the cops ate them. The victim was not injured by the cinnamon roll, duh, but wishes prosecution. Lame.
Nah.
Charged with misdemeanor battery, Luna was booked into the county jail, from which she was released last night after posting $500 bond and a case of Cinnabons. Oh, after posting a $500 Cinnabon. There we go. I knew it was in there. While a judge has ordered Luna to stay away from the victim, she is still legally permitted to have contact with frosted pastry.
Next time, eat them instead of throwing them at people. Now it's
Dude,
actually.
that's food
I mean,
abuse.
she was at a transitional housing facility, so she was already having issues.
That was food abuse. You don't do that. Okay, I'm sorry. I saw that headline. I'm like, wait, what? All right. Next one is all yours.
Beautiful.
Do we even need to read more than the headline?
I really don't think so. I don't think so at all. This is from the archives.
This is
This
an
is an oldie but a moldy.
I had to bring it back, though. It's not that moldy. It's only from November.
That's old.
We
Florida
missed
man,
it because we were moving.
a Florida man, or who else, arrested for pooping on dead possum on the street during rush hour. I don't think there's anything else needs to be said.
I don't understand what he did that was illegal. I mean, would it have been okay if
Guy
it was
looks
a
like-
live possum? I'm totally confused as to why. Okay.
The guy looks like the
He looks like a
Unabomber and Abraham Lincoln's love child.
He looks like a dead possum.
Very much so. A Florida man, what else, has found himself behind bars after he was seen by a police officer pooping on a dead possum in the middle of the street, according to an arrest affidavit from the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office.
What? Okay, question. Did he use it to wipe?
Did he use it to wipe?
Wipe.
Maybe.
What did he do that was so wrong?
I don't know. We
It's
might find
roadkill.
out.
It's not like he was offending it.
Rudy Will.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I see what he got charged with.
Thank
all
you.
he would have had to do is say he was in his own pride parade, and he would have been fine.
Rudy Will Cox was arrested. I'm sorry.
Unfortunately.
Rudy Wilcox was arrested and charged with exposing his sexual organs after the alleged incident that unfolded on Wednesday near the intersection of Belcher Road and Willow Tree Trail in
I
Clearwater.
still don't understand what he did that was so wrong. Like I said, he could have just been part of a pride parade.
At around 5:20 p.m., the 45-year-old, because it didn't happen during Pride Month. At around 5:20 p.m., the 45-year-old man was seen by a Clearwater police officer defecating on a dead possum with his pants down and his backside exposed, according to the affidavit. Wilcox, who has no known residence, surprise, was allegedly in full view of the motoring public during busy traffic hours, police said. In a post-Miranda interview with the police, Wilcox denied the allegations and said the officer didn't say straight, affidavit said. Police, however, found physical evidence at the scene, easily found physical evidence at the scene corroborating the allegations, the report says. Wilcox remained in Pinellas County Jail. Let's just leave
Lord
it
knows
at
where
that.
he is now, but Godspeed, and I hope the possum got a dignified burial.
Boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been
Florida Man.
Here on Counterculture Wise, we may rant, we may rave, but most of all, we go against the current culture because we believe, to the core of our beings, that humans are good and the world is an amazing and beautiful place. At the beginning of our show, we give you news of the weird and wonderful, but that is just the tip of the magnificent iceberg that is our world. We now present news of the wonderfuller.
There's a lot of entertainers in this world. Very few of them I would call a national treasure, but this guy absolutely is, and I didn't even know he had been nominated for this, so this is fantastic. Legendary actor and comedian Dick Van Dyke has made history, winning the 2024 Daytime Emmy Award for Guest Performer in a Daytime Drama Series via his spot on Days of Our Lives.
What? I didn't know he was doing that. I'm going to have to go look it up now.
At 98, that makes Van Dyke the oldest actor.
98?
Yeah, he's 98 years old.
I would still vote for him for president. The dude is...
It's true. He's still got all of his faculties, and he still dances and sings and everything.
Like I said, we used to want to vote for a competent
Yeah.
leader. Now we just wish we could have a continent leader.
There we go. At 98, I don't know if he's continent or not, but that's not really
I'm
important.
sure he is.
At 98, that makes Van Dyke the oldest actor to receive a Daytime Emmy win.
Wow.
Van Dyke came into Friday's 51st Daytime Emmy Awards already making a mark as the oldest Daytime Emmys nominee ever. Night one of the 51st Annual Daytime Emmy Awards took place live on CBS on Friday, June 7th from the Westin Bonaventure Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. That's a really cool hotel, at least from the outside. I haven't seen the inside. I feel like a spy from nighttime television, Van Dyke joked. I'm the oldest nominee in history. I can't believe it. I was playing old men my whole life.
That is true.
If I had known I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of
Oh my
myself.
God, the guy is in such great health.
I know. Van Dyke said he had a wonderful time on Days and said during one serious scene he started laughing and ruined the shot. I'm 98 years old. Can you believe it? This tops a lifetime of 80 years in the business. I love you. God bless, he added. In a special 4-hour... I'm sorry, let me try it again. In a special 4-part story arc, Van Dyke appeared on Days as Mystery Man / Timothy Robichaux. Here's how it was described. Van Dyke plays a man of mystery, an amnesiac.
Of course, if it's a soap opera, there's got to be an amnesia.
There has to be something like that. Marlena, played by Deirdre Hall, is tasked with helping Van Dyke's character bridge the gaps in his memory. To achieve this, she calls on John Black and Steve Johnson, Stephen Nichols, for help. Between memory exercises, there may be a musical number or two.
Nuh-uh.
Van Dyke wound up on Days via his friendship with I. Drake Hogestyn, who plays John Black on Days. Van Dyke appeared on the September 1st, September 4th, September 8th, and September 14th episode of Days, with his wife Arlene Silver on the September 1st episode.
Oh, wow.
Van Dyke beat out a nominee field that included Lyndon Ashby as Cameron Kirsten, The Young and the Restless.
I
Ashley
didn't even know
Jones.
these shows were still on air.
Days of Our Lives got moved to the Peacock from NBC.
Bold and Beautiful, General
Bold and Beautiful,
Hospital,
General Hospital, yeah,
What happened to
Neighbors.
Santa Barbara? That's the only one I ever actually watched.
That didn't last very long. I think it was a spinoff of Days of Our Lives, and it
Was
was only on for a few years. It's been gone
Well,
for a long time. It was on
I
NBC.
think after they stole Princess Buttercup, it was all over.
Yeah. And Guy Pearce's Mike Young on Neighbors, which is on Amazon. After working as a DJ, comedian, and MC on local radio and TV programs, Van Dyke hosted the CBS Morning Show as host, with Walter Cronkite as his news anchor and Barbara Walters as news copywriter.
Wow.
He became a television star on CBS with the sitcom The Dick Van Dyke Show, still one of the best shows ever, on which he played television comedy writer Rob Petrie. The CBS birthday special will return to the iconic set of The Dick Van Dyke Show, as well as feature archival footage from across Van Dyke's career, encompassing Mary Poppins, Bye Bye Birdie, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and more.
With the Cockney accent.
Yeah. Van Dyke has been seen a lot on CBS lately. Last year, the network rang in his 98th birthday with Dick Van Dyke, 98 Years of Magic, an entertainment special honoring the legendary actor and performer. That must be what they were talking about earlier. He was also honored with the Kennedy Center's honors in 2021, which also aired on CBS. Also, Van Dyke won his previous Daytime Emmy in 1984 in the Outstanding Performer in Children's Programming for CBS Library. Didn't even know that was a thing, but then again, I wasn't a child. I was in the Marine Corps in 1984, so there.
Yeah, you were kind of still a child.
In a way, but I didn't watch Dick Van Dyke doing kids' shows.
I did not know he did a
All
kid
right,
show.
now, I don't normally do military stuff other than veterans, but this is such an important story and is such a great thing for these four people, and I wanted us to share this tonight.
I may or may not cry, so let's see what happens. Big breath. Big breath, big breath, big breath. Here we go. Celebrations erupted in Tel Aviv today after 4 Israeli hostages were finally rescued from Gaza by Israeli special forces. Hostages held for 8 months had been taken from the Nova Music Festival on October 7th last year, a captivity that added up to more than 240 days. I can't even imagine what these poor people were put through. I honestly, I can't even fathom what these poor people went through. The daytime rescue operation in Nusret had been planned for weeks, said IDF officials who released footage of soldiers ushering the hostages to a waiting helicopter. One of those free 25-year-old Noah Argamani had become famous due to a video of her being dragged away from the festival on a motorbike. Dozens of musicgoers were abducted from the concert in the attack by the terrorist organization Hamas. 3 other hostages, aged 21 to 40, that were being held in another location were also rescued and are now free men. Andrei Kozlov, Almag Merjan, and Shlomi Ziv. All were in good health and reunited with their families at the hospital.
And there is a video. You didn't burst into tears, but if you watch the video, you might. Just a fair warning.
Not grab that video, so let me grab that video.
But happy day for those guys.
Here's the video of the rescues.
New video this morning. 4 hostages
Here is not
reunited
the
with their
video
families
of the
after being
rescues. Let me
rescued.
pause it. Here's the video of the hostages being reunited.
New video this morning. 4 hostages reunited with their families after being rescued.
Only
They were
4?
kidnapped in the Hamas-led attack on October 7th. According to Israeli officials, their ages range from 21 to 40 years old. Israeli forces say they're prepared for this operation for weeks.
Israeli forces have been preparing for this rescue mission for weeks. They underwent intensive training. They risked their lives to save the lives of our hostages.
This morning, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visited the hostages in the hospital. Israel's operation today is the largest recovery of hostages alive since the war began. 7 have been rescued so far. Also new this morning, hospital officials say at least 94 Palestinians died during fighting in that same area where these hostages were rescued.
And the look on that one guy's face. Benjamin Netanyahu right in front of me here. What?
Like literally hugging him.
Yeah.
Like, literally
That's
right there.
mind-blowing. Mind-blowing.
Well, congratulations on those who got to go home. My heart is absolutely broken for those who are still there, and may you be returned and restored, because Lord knows what you're going through right now. Usually we like to end on a high note, and I think those people being reunited with their families is a high note.
Very.
And as you go forth this week, think of your family and how important they are, and who they are to you, and how they shaped you and made you, and vice versa, how you shaped them and made them. We have an odd little family with, dogs and cats and everything else. Scorpions, apparently.
Yeah.
Each other. We don't have children, but I have kids. Lots and lots of kids.
Very.
And
Lots
I love
of kids.
each and every one of them. Each one of my students is a miracle and a blessing, and I cherish my time with them. I do have favorites, but of course I would never tell which ones are my favorites. But I do tell every one of them that they are.
Absolutely.
I am so blessed. I hope you can look around you and see how blessed you are. So my homework assignment for you this week is for you to take a moment each day, doesn't matter when, doesn't matter where, and just look around yourself and say, wow, this is how I'm blessed. And may you bless others for the rest of this week. Bye.
Bye.
Counterculture-Wise is a Stormcat production.
Thank you for joining our growing family of listeners. All links from the show are available on our website, counterculturewise.com. Find our archives on any of your favorite podcast hosts.
We engage in satire, commentary, and generally laugh at the ridiculousness of our crumbling society. Our only medical or financial advice is to not follow any financial or medical advice given by podcasters.
Our animations, interviews, Holy Crap segment, and other videos are put out on Bitchute and Rumble, and only in part on YouTube because they hate free speech.
Our show is entirely funded by listeners like you. Visit our ever-expanding merch store or our Subscribe Star, where you can get outtakes, extra videos, and sneak peeks.
If you would like to be a guest on our program, feel free to contact us via our website. Just click on the link at the top that says, "Be a guest on our show."
For more fun and cat pics, please visit our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. For complaints about our show, please fill out the ID10T form on our website, and we will give it the attention it deserves.
Meanwhile, no matter how cruel the world may be around you, always remember the importance of kindness. Be kind to each other, be kind to animals, and be kind to yourself. See you next week.